understand it. This wasn't the plan. Don't wanna demand it. I've done what I can. And I never mentioned the times you were rude. And I never mentioned when you heard the truth. Scared to lose it all. I will stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? You got me saying away. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. I don't like to leave things unresolved. Maybe it's madness. I'm begging you, please pick up the call. You're causing me damage. I should've known, wasn't your fault. Don't even matter. I wasn't thinking clear, trying to take it there. Scared to lose it all. I won't stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? You got me standing in the rain. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. I'm just standing in the rain, hoping I don't make the same mistake.
Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so
there. Does find the guy planting the bomb. Parlays it into his second. 1v3 looking for the clutch, looking for the last two. He's gonna find one, another one wants it across.
Absolutely a must-make because of the ease of
easy
them.
What? The rest of his team is slowly collapsing. The Sombra is the last one. Oh, and Voidex with the clutch.
Nella gonna get the Nair, starting up the Nair train. Boy cannot get out of it. What are we gonna see? Forward air, then down air!
Taking some form of space outside the spawn door, but Dragonblade's gonna look to take it right back with a huge shatter. Oh my god! Another pick! Another pick! Oh, he just keeps going in the bang! Hard point in the hand of the other team. Toxic trying to find one, finds a second. Does he get the 30?
Finishes off with the pistol!
The entire team in front of him, and he's gonna find four! The ace, actually!
Push all in the corner, and Gingy staying deep instead of going defensive like usual.
Oh my god, it's kickoff probably with a 4-piece!
Hello and welcome to another Shenandoah Esports stream. My name is Vitaly Rivera and alongside me today is the one, the only Avery. Avery, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Vitaly. I'm so excited to cast some of the Call of Duty action going to happen here in beautiful Winchester today. I've been following this Call of Duty team for, this season and seasons before that. We're going to see a lot of returning players here today, and this Call of Duty team is so exciting to watch. I'm so excited to get into these matches.
Absolutely. I feel like, so as a part of the Call of Duty team myself, I've been able to see a ton of gameplay from them, and our current roster today for our CCL league is going to be Mossman, Relic, Toxic, and Stevo. So that's a powerhouse squad. That's the same squad from last season as well. And this past weekend, actually, they just qualified for Division 1 for the CCL League, which is what we're going to be playing today in. And our first match is going to be against SMU, St. Mary's University. And our second match of the day is going to be against Farmingdale University as well. So action-packed night tonight for you guys. We also got Valorant coming up as well at around 8, I believe. Not too sure if we're going to be casting that. But good luck to Valorant. I know they're going to be playing in the NECC League as well. Avery, tell me what you got. What are your hopes for this season?
I mean, I can only hope for the best for this season, right? I mean, looking at these guys' pool, I mean, this team is very confident, Vitaly. Looking at the different matches they have in these different leagues, these guys feel like they can take on anyone, right? Like you said, Vitaly, they're in the most premium league you can be in this CCL, and they're really liking their region and where they place in that. And so I think they're really confident going into both of these matches. I mean, both of these teams that they're going up against, very qualified school, in that top-tier division as well. So although they're very confident, the competition is just as stiff as they are. And so I think they're really going in with a lot of confidence, but I have a lot of confidence for them too. So that's what I would say. I'm looking forward to this season for that reason.
I agree. And as you see on the screen right there, we got the boys locking in. Mossman getting zoned in. As you can see, also Coach Nando in the back trying to get everybody locked in, strategies going. But let's talk about the map pool. The map pool is actually pretty narrow for today. We got Skid Row Hardpoint first, right? So that's going to be a big P2 hill. That's going to be a big P5 hill as well. The rest of the hills are going to get pretty scrappy. And we also got Invasion, Search, and Destroy. As you can see, we got 3 invasions back-to-back. So we got Search and Destroy, Control, and another Hardpoint. And if it goes the distance, which hopefully it does, that'll be a fun series to cast. We get a Skid Row, Search, and Destroy in the end.
Yeah, Vitaly, I mean, talk to me about how do you even decide with a team to decide to go to Invasion 3 times in a row? I mean, do we just both love this map?
I mean, Invasion is a pretty strong map for a lot of teams. I know a lot of teams tend to scrim this map in particular, and the nice thing about Invasion, it's a pretty big map, right? So there's a lot of different angles you can play. There's a lot of different ways you can play. You can play super aggressive or passive, and it's very complementary to any kind of play style. So depending on how a team works and if they're coordinated enough, they can do whatever it is that they want to do on this map. And hopefully today we get to see some of that.
Yeah, and I've been very impressed with Shenandoah's performance on Skid Row as well. If you're joining us last week for their NACE match, I mean, holding that university to, I believe, about 66 points on hardpoint. So, I mean, incredible on Skid Row as well. These players know how to play fast. They know how to play those small maps as well as the big ones. And when you got these really fast players like Relic and like Stevo coming in for this match, I mean, they're going to be able to play those close points really well. And I know Nando is talking to them right now about those options.
Of course. And one of the big things that this team is going to need right now is Stevo's facilitating ability, his IGLing skills. I was able to be a part of that as well, like I said, and him being able to just navigate everybody around, being able to have that really high IQ in the game is going to take this team super far throughout the season. So hopefully we get to see a lot of that today. Hopefully you get to see Stevo and company pop off. And again, thank you to our proud partner, Glitch Energy, for this stream as well, being able to supply us with some awesome energy, high fuel gaming, and we're just hoping to see some action-packed stuff here tonight. One of my favorite things about Call of Duty is just the amount of kills that you can get, right? So it doesn't really matter if you get a lot of kills. I like to get a lot of kills. I like to try and get a lot of kills,
of course.
Right? But that's not really how the game works, right? So if you can get those important picks, if you can get those important kills, that's going to make the difference between, you know, a good team and a great team.
I mean, especially on a game mode like Search, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's not about whether you can wipe out the other team fast. Sometimes it's about holding that advantage, right? If you have a 4 versus a 3 versus a 4 versus a 2, such a greater advantage when you can take 2 players into one guy. I mean, having that man advantage is just so important. I mean, even on hardpoint, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can keep that man advantage, you can control those zones easier. You can hold more angles. So getting those important picks, Vitaly, I agree, is such an important aspect of the game.
Right. And, I mean, one thing that is really interesting about the game mode control, so for those who don't know control, there's 2 points on the map, and you have to get all 3 ticks in order to capture a point, and there's 2 points total on each side, right? So the game mode basically goes down to how many ticks you can get. So if a score goes down to 2-2, right, it's based off of who has the most ticks. So the team that has the most ticks is able to be on the defending side. So typically in control, defending is the easier way to go. So hopefully our boys are able to play on the defensive side to start off the game strong there. But if not, again, I feel like we have a really strong aggressive pace. So hopefully we can bring that out as well. There's really a lot going on today. So hopefully we can try and get all of that action pack in this one stream tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this team is so adaptable, right, Vitaly? I mean, it doesn't matter if they're pushed to those offensive maps or to those more defensive maps. We talk about, you know, maps like Invasion, where P2 is so important to hold that. And, you know, they can go off all aspects. Like you said, Stevo, that amazing IGL that can really bring this team together, bring those strategies in during the match where Coach Nando isn't able to help them during the match. Obviously, they have that team leader in Stevo to really guide this team where they need to go. But also these players so tactically brilliant in their own minds. They've been playing this game for years, so they know how they need to personally adapt to these whatever's thrown at them, really.
Exactly. And they've been able to work on this for a season now, right? So I think being able to have that time under their belt, being able to understand how each other play, right? We have 3 seniors on the team right now, at least for this roster. We have Stevo, we have Mikey, or Toxic, and then we also have John, which is Relic. So we got a pretty senior squad, and hopefully they're able to use that seniority, that experience that they have, and pull this win out tonight.
Yeah, looking at them here again, you can just see they're just so excited to start this match. I mean, look at Moss saying whatever's on that monitor. Very interesting stuff. Always like looking at Relic's player cam.
I know.
He's always locked in.
He's always locked in. Even if I know right now he's in the training facility, probably just warming up against some of the training dummies.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know our players at our top left there, we're going to have Toxic. Top right is going to be IGL, as we remember before. Stevo, always a brute force here at Shenandoah. Bottom left, that's going to be Mossman, that non-senior on this team, but a great player in his own right. He's been doing amazing in these matches. Here's a close-up of Mossman. I was so impressed with his performance in these previous matches. I mean, I already went over how well they've been holding these great teams to such low amounts of points. So it's great to see Mossman, this young player on this squad. And then finally, Relic in that bottom right of the quadrant. There he is, still locked as ever. And that red lighting kind of makes him look a little bit evil, Vitaly. I'm not going to lie. I think the other team would be a little scared if I saw Relic on this stream right now.
I would too. And so Relic and Steve I believe, are going to be playing the sub role today, and Mikey or Toxic and Mossman are going to be playing the AR role today. And both of those guys on the AR role are beams. Basically, what that means is they can shoot straight, and they have no problem getting into a gunfight.
I believe it was Toxic who, in previous semesters, we saw make great use of the sniper. Am I right?
I believe so.
Nowadays, we're not seeing that as much. I believe it's banned now. Am I correct?
It is banned. Well, yes, it is banned. So the thing about that is typically in the collegiate and the professional scene, people tend to play with the AR or the submachine gun. So that just tends for a better competition. So it's not all, sniper, peek, and then you potentially die, and then it's just not really a fun game. You don't get to play out your life. You don't get to think strategically around that, So being able to see the ARs today, being able to see the sub routes today are going to be super fun to watch. We also are going to be talking about Valorant, right? Valorant actually came from the club. It came from the club level, and then it got bumped up to the academy level. So that's amazing stuff already. And Valorant's going to be playing the first game today as well. So good luck to Valorant's NECC game.
Yeah, we won't be streaming them, but I just want to shout out the Valorant team. Worked so hard moving from that club to academy level here at Shenandoah. We got 3 tiers of competition, really. Got the club level, and then the academy level is going to be the lowest level that we still stream here. And then if you, play enough at an academy level, you may even be promoted to that varsity level. For example, our Call of Duty team here is going to be our varsity competitors. So, yeah, the Valorant team's just been doing fantastic. Their coaching 2 teams, both Valorant and Smash Bros. And I know they've pulled so many new players for that Valorant Academy roster. I know they're pulling in some freshmen for that, some graduate students. They really got players across the board and good rank as well. I believe they were able to win their placement match to get placed into a higher division in their league as well. So I know they're really looking forward to some tight competition this year, and I know we'll be able to see them soon on the broadcast.
Of course. And one of the big things that I'm looking forward to as well is just to see their progression, right? Like
Absolutely.
Hopefully we get to see a lot of good wins throughout the season as well from them. Hopefully we get to see them on the broadcast as well. I believe we can definitely make that happen if you guys are interested in some Valorant content. At the same time, though, we got Call of Duty coming up soon. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Glad you didn't go anywhere, because that was just a little joke. Let's talk about some of the maps that we got today. Skid Row. Have you seen Skid Row?
Yeah, obviously in their previous matches, that very fast-paced map, very close together. So bring me through some of the intricacies.
Right. So a lot of times teams in when they first start out in Skid Row, they either like to go straight to P1, which is the middle of the map. It's a very tight corner area, and you want to try and get at least some kind of scrap time, some kind of contests there. But the big part about Skid Row is getting to that P2 area. So that P2 area is a really high building, and it allows you to have a really good vantage point over an entire field, and it allows you to just stay up in a corner. You can throw up a trophy system, and it allows you to not get naded. It allows you not to get stunned, anything, right? So being able to have that control early on gives you a lot of time, which is basically the whole goal of the game, is you want to win based off of time, and it goes to 250. So every second is a tick, and every hill is 60 seconds. So you're going to be hearing us say a money hill a lot. We're going to be saying 60-second hill maybe, but their teams are going to be potentially not playing for some of these hills so that they can have map control, right? And map control is a really big part of Hardpoint, which is what we're going to be seeing here soon. So being able to have that kind of map control, being able to have that kind of coordination to get that kind of control is super crucial. So hopefully we get to see a lot of that as well.
Yeah, like you said, Vitaly, it's not just about running around and, shooting the opponents when you see them.
Exactly.
A lot of these things come down to map control, because at the end of the day, when we're playing control, it's not about how many kills you put on the board. It's about how many of those ticks you can achieve, who can reach that 250 point mark first. So, you know, obviously getting kills is going to help you achieve that goal. But at the end of the day, whoever can control those zones, I mean, especially when we're looking at those more critical zones that are more easy to control, those can be really big deals. I mean, but even on these smaller zones that are hard to control, whoever can control those for more amounts of time, that's going to build their points up so that even if they can't control those crucial points, those smaller zones are going to add up.
Right. And that goes honestly kind of similar to Control in a sense where you want to play for the ticks because that's kind of where a lot of the points and everything comes down to, especially if it goes to the very end of the game. But also in Control, you have a limited amount of lives. So each team has 30 lives total. And if you happen to get all of the kills, then the team that happens to eliminate the other team's lives wins that round. But if the other team also happens to get the captures and control of those 2 points, then that team also wins as well. So there's multiple ways to win. It's really interesting. You can also win off of time for both, for actually all of the game modes, for Hardpoint, Search and Destroy, and Control. So being able to also have that time management, especially in a game mode like Search and Destroy, is going to be important because I believe you only have a minute 30 seconds or a minute 40 seconds to be able to move around the map and get those necessary picks where needed.
Yeah, I mean, Control is going to be that game mode where there's multiple ways to win, right? When we're starting on a game mode like Hardpoint, I mean, there really is one way to win, really, other than maybe time.
Right.
But I mean, it's even at the end of the time, it's going to be whoever has the most points, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, even if you can't get quite to that 250 mark, but I really expect Shenandoah to reach that 250 mark, if we're being honest with Tyler.
Of course.
But, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, someone's got to score higher points. So, yeah,
Right.
that's going to be the game mode where kills mean the least, but, you know, still a big deal. And then, of course, the only mode we didn't touch on, Search and Destroy, right?
Yep.
That's going to be more of a Valorant style even, where you have one side, which is the attackers, and then the defenders. And the attackers can go plant the bomb on a site, and it's the defender's job to either, you know, kill all of the attackers or to defuse the bomb. And, you know, that mode's going to be the much more slower mode, the much more tactical mode. I'm really excited to see how Coach Nando and IGL Stevo really approach that more slow mode, where they're going to have to do a lot of thinking, a lot less just kind of scrapping. But I think this team is amazing at scrapping, and it's why I think they've succeeded so well on Hardpoint, which is what we're going to be getting into right now.
Exactly, and I'm excited for this series. This series is something that these guys have been talking about for the past week. They've been excited. We just, again, hit Division 1, so we're amped, we're hyped. We're looking forward to some extreme high-quality gameplay, and I'm excited to see what SU has to offer.
And SMU, I mean, from Nova Scotia, right?
Yep.
I mean, Canadian team coming out to take on Shenandoah. When we talk about these top COD schools, sometimes we talk about schools like St. Clair's, right? Who do amazing in Call of Duty. But I know another Canadian team coming up to the plate here to face against Shenandoah. So I'm excited to see how this rivalry of the two countries comes into play here.
I think it's going to be a series to watch. Everyone grab your popcorn, grab your drinks as the game is getting ready to start soon. I feel like this is going to be a really close game, this first map. I feel like these teams have what it takes to really bring the best out of each other, which is honestly my favorite kind of style of COD to watch. Being able to see these teams get the most amount of kills and trades and really just fight for, you know, each and every point is something really special to watch.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see big amounts of adaptation between these two teams. And here we go. The gameplay is underway. First player we're going to be viewing is none other than Toxic. I see Relic is in the player cam there, but don't be confused. This is Toxic's POV.
And that's 3. Mossman and Stevo get 2. John really needs to go big here in P1 as this guy is contesting from flat. Mossman gets a pick, and Toxic also gets another pick. That's 2 down.
Incredible start from Shenandoah. Going to hold that first point first, but St. Mary's is quickly going to take it back, and Stevo's going to pick up 2.
Oh my gosh. Steve coming in big with the 2-piece as Shenandoah is already taking control of that P2 area like we talked about. So that P2 area is where 7 and 5 is on that mini-map. And Mikey gets 2, and John clears it up for the 3rd. As we're starting to set up for this P2 hill, we got 8 seconds left, so this SMU team needs to start figuring out how they're going to break this.
Yeah, Shenandoah has had an amazing start. We see Toxic on a 5 killing
gosh.
spree already, Vitaly.
John unfortunately gets picked off by Bane as Mossman chows off a hill. Mikey in garage, hopefully going to be getting this pick here in garage as Stevo gets another one from spaced out. Moss picking that trade up from Bane. And now they just have a ton of time. Oh no, Moss goes down.
Moss was able to pick up the cruise missile though, and looks like Toxic gonna grab that as well. All of St. Mary's is bundled together. Is Toxic gonna be able to take the rest of them out? It looks like he is outnumbered. Can they find him?
Big nade by Mossman!
That was so huge by Mossman. He's gonna find so many. Oh, and Steve-O cleans it up.
That was 4 down. Now they're starting to row. They got 20 seconds left. You already see number 2 there on the bottom right of the map is rowing new as 5. I think is going to be picking this up. Mikey, does he read it? Oh, he does. But unfortunately, MK does get that pick, and John gets to trade as he's trying to get this control of P3.
Shenandoah playing so fast right now. Steve-O gonna book the dead silence, and Relic's gonna find one here in this alley. He's gonna look for more, but there's no one else around. That capture point is gonna run out with Relic. Gonna take another 1v1, and he's gonna clean that one up as well. Finally falling.
And now as St. Mary's finally have a chance to get some time here on P3. Steve-O is going to be pushing up Laundry though, trying to create some sort of presence. Steve-O gets 2 big picks as Mikey also follows up with another one. Now there's only one more person on point. And now they have 2 people dropping out of ticket. Oh my gosh, Mossman goes down as Mikey tries to pick up 2, only picks up 1. John trying to get that trade and finishes it off for the clear.
I mean, look at these amazing 1v1s. It feels like Shenandoah is winning. Like every time they see one other guy, it's like, boom, they're able to take that kill. And only a few more seconds left on this capture point. Can Shenandoah recontest? It looks like Steve-O, oh, great, upwards from spaced out on that one. I mean, Steve-O had the angle on him, but just not able to win that gunfight.
Now St. Mary's is just flooding into this new hill as Toxic finds one, doesn't find the second. Steve-O does get that trade, and now he has full control of this P4 hill. Now we can see that St. Mary's is winding out deep, and we have control of time. Now we're just trying to play for this control. We're nice and slow. You don't have to overcommit. Mossman just going crazy, getting 1 as Relic also gets another one. Mossman gets a second. Does he get the 3rd? He gets the 3rd! Mossman is popping off right now as Mikey finishes it off for the 4th. Shenandoah has to row new to get this control, and they're already rowed new.
SMU is trying to attack this point from 2 different angles, but it seems like no matter where they go, Mossman is just there, Vitali!
Mossman, you are going insane! Oh my gosh.
16-4 on Mossman, and he is not gonna slow down. This man is on a mission, and this mission is to continue this pressure. Oh, almost 100-point lead for Shenandoah, and we are moving on to the next point.
And this is a big hill right here. St. Mary's can break this. They're gonna potentially have some sort of momentum going into this P1 hill. But let's see as Relic does get that pick onto Bane, and they're starting to group up towards ticket side, which is that right area of the map you see as Toxic does get 1, but does he realize that there's 2 more setting up for this push?
Toxic certainly doesn't feel scared. He knows he's got Mossman behind him, and Mossman is going to fall there, but Toxic still alive. Does he know there's a 2v1 or not? He may not, but he does take the 1 anyways. Is he going to go for the other, or he's just going to go back, play a trophy system? He's going to play this defense. Shenandoah's defense looking amazing right now.
I agree with you. And I think St. Mary's, what they need to do is try and rotate for this new, try and get some sort of control. As you see Relic and Mossman trying to get some sort of control towards this P3 area. St. Mary's does have control of it, but do they realize that they're going to be coming from this double door area?
St. Mary's does look like they're really sticking together here. They need this next point if they want to win this, but Shenandoah's moving in with multiples.
Corvos and Bane getting a huge 2 picks to clear out that P1 and get some sort of time, try and get some sort of momentum. Mikey is trying to just play for this P2, or Toxic trying to play for this P2, gets 1, trying to just keep this control. Toxic almost gets 2 as Relic is trying to flood into new.
Yeah, St. Mary's able to capture this point, but only 30 more seconds on it and a big deficit to climb. Let's see what they can make happen when they're the ones on the defense. Mossman gonna find another pick. This man is 20-6. Oh, but gonna find himself in an explosion.
Steve-O gets a huge pick into that new hill. If Bane would have gotten there and got that pick, that would have been really bad for Shenandoah.
Steve-O holding this high ground here, trying to get these St. Mary's players off of this defense. He can find a new pick. His team can move in, and that's exactly what they're going to be looking to do. You can see on the mini-map St. Mary's players just so close together, and Shenandoah is trying to find a way to push in. Steve-O is going to activate the cruise missile. Is he going to be able to find anyone?
Steve-O's trying to get somebody, gets one, realizes that there's 2 more people towards this garage area, as Steve-O's trying to get something going. Needs to stay down here. We have Relic on P5, just holding the cross. He can stay down. There's 30 seconds left.
You can see the smarts of Steve-O, knowing he doesn't have to push this. He doesn't have to chow this because he knows his team is above by so much, and they are actually the ones defending. It's up to SMU to push Steve-O off of this high ground, and they are trying their best, but they just cannot find this kill.
We're looking at Bait potentially getting a huge pick, and Steve-O goes big on that hill, trying to keep that 60 tick, that 60-point hill, as Mikey's Toxic already set up for New. Toxic gets 1, gets 2, Relic gets a 3rd. Now they just need 8 more seconds, and that's game over.
Yeah, I mean, St. Mary's trying their best, but at the end of the day, Shenandoah is just holding it down, Vitaly, and only a few more seconds needed to go by before Shenandoah reached that 250 mark. No timeout needed. The 250 has been reached. So many cruise missiles, so many streaks from these players. I mean, these guys were looking amazing.
Let's talk about Mossman for a second. Mossman going huge on a lot of those hills. I mean, getting 3 picks at a time on each life, that's really hard to do, and that's some really high-level gameplay that we just saw from Mossman there.
Yeah, Mossman taking a breath of relief almost. You can see him reeling back in his chair, being like, yeah, I did that. And now he's just locking in the next game. You can see Relic there as well, staying hydrated. You see Coach Nando giving the boys some tips. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they were able to hold St. Mary's to below 100 points on that hard point.
And that's something that's really difficult to do. I mean, again, they're playing in a Division I of the CCL league, and this is not a league where, you know, there's new teams that are coming in, right? These are teams that have experience. These are teams that have played, and Shenandoah came out strong.
These are teams that had to qualify, Vital. I mean, we talked about before this match that in order to get to this tier of competition, you had to play in qualifying matches that brings you to this point. So to see Shenandoah put on this kind of performance, we're going to see some replays here from Steve-O, I'm sure from Mossman as well. I mean, they're doing some incredible things with some very qualified schools. Let's get into these replays here.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big moments that I remembered was, again, Mossman in this P4, just being able to snake around, you know, weasel his way around this hill, trying to make sure he still stays alive, and, I mean, going big for Shenandoah. Like, that is insane.
Yeah, just look at him go.
And, I mean, let's not forget about Toxic. Toxic honestly held it down as well. Being able to have those moments where he can get those crucial big picks. I mean, being able to keep the St. Mary's team at bay of only 3 to 2 players, you know, at a time can be really, really hard stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, that offense, that defense, when those crucial points came into play, Shenandoah was able to hold them, and we saw when St. Mary's was able to get control of the point for the time that they just weren't able to stay on it, right? Or they would capture it, there would only be a couple seconds left on it, and they would have to rotate to a new point. So it was really Shenandoah just controlling the pace.
Exactly. I think one of the big things that we saw there, again, from Shenandoah is actually that team coordination.
Definitely.
I mean, a lot of these teams have the ability to, you know, get really big kills, but being able to be coordinated and strategize how to approach each and every hill is something that a lot of high-level teams do, and we just saw that displayed from Shenandoah.
Yeah, I mean, even one thing that really comes immediately to my mind is like when Steve-O used that cruise missile, and you were like, no, he knows 2 more are in the garage, right? That's him saying like, yeah, I got this vision, I got my kill, but we can't push through just yet. We got this strategic play, we got to get by here first. And just knowing those strategic things like that, having those smarts in Call of Duty means more than gunfights sometimes.
Exactly. Having that patience is key. I mean, being able to stay on an angle, being able to have that kind of composure during those games are crucial. And we see Mossman only dying 9 times throughout that entire series, and Steve-O only 5. I mean, you can't get much better than that.
Yeah, you pointed out that Mossman had 9 deaths, and this KD is just absolutely incredible, by the way, with 24 kills. And then you look at the rest of the team, it's like Mossman died the 3rd most times.
Yeah, he did. I mean,
how?
I have no idea. I think he was feeling himself. He was getting hot. So, you got to try and play when you're hot. So that's why probably we're seeing those numbers. But at the same time, again, look at Toxic having 12
I was just going to
assists.
point that out, Vitaly. This Toxic guy, he's just got his hand in every candy bowl, man.
Absolutely. Just being able to, again, have that kind of pressure asserted on any lane where he's at is tremendous. And it's scary. Like, I've gone against Toxic in scrims. I've gone against him in practices. And it is terrifying to go against Toxic.
Yeah, such great control and such great knowledge coming out from this team. Such a great performance from them in Map 1. And moving on, as we said before, we are going to see Invasion for potentially 3 more games. But this is a best of 5. So if Shenandoah does win the next 2 Invasion maps, that will be the series. So 1 game at a time, though. Next map, Invasion on Search and Destroy, Vitaly.
Yeah, and Search and Destroy, again, like we talked about. You have 2 bomb sites, and the objective for the attackers is to plant the bomb or get all of the kills on the defender team, and vice versa. If the defender team needs to defuse the bomb or get all of the other kills on the attacking team. So hopefully we get to see a lot of bombs planted. If not, then we're going to see a lot of kills today in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, I think this team, like you said, Vitaly, it's a very strategic team, right? But as I've watched them play Search in the past, I actually wouldn't say this is a bomb-heavy team. I've actually seen this team play a lot of Search and Destroy where they're just outgunning the other team. It's up to that team to plant the bombs and to figure those kind of strategic things out. Exactly. Because Shenandoah is able to hold those angles, and really no matter what map they go on, and it's just hard for the attackers to plant the bomb. It's hard for the defenders to defend that bomb when you got Shenandoah on the other end.
Exactly. Being able to have your defending side strong is crucial in a game mode like Search and Destroy. I mean, being able to have that kind of stability and control when playing in a game mode like Search and Destroy is crucial. And if your attacking team is really good and you're able to trade out and play together cohesively, that's going to be a recipe for success.
Yeah, a bit of the name of the game is that defense is a little easier, right?
Exactly.
Vitaly, like, you only have like a few things you have to watch out for. You have to watch people approaching the bomb sites. But at the end of the day, the attackers have to plant the bomb in order to win, unless they manage to kill all of you. But if you're holding those bomb sites, right? I mean, you can be fairly sure that they're gonna come to you at some point.
Exactly. So being able to stay patient again and trying to play around what information you have is important. Now, you can get aggressive, and I know Shenandoah likes to get aggressive.
That's true.
at
That's
times.
true.
So hopefully you get to see some aggression as well as they're getting ready to load up into this map 2 Invasion. And Invasion's a really interesting one because there are other maps as well in the map pool for Search and Destroy. We have Karachi, and then we also have Terminal. Now, those maps are not necessarily too fun to play on, at least from personal experience. I do very much like Invasion Search and Destroy myself. It's very plain, I guess you could say, in the sense where there's not a lot of elevation, right? And it's really nice to see that Shenandoah is able to play on a map like this because, again, we have a lot of really, really talented people.
And like you said, it's a really common map, right, to scrim on. So oftentimes when you have those really common maps that everyone has that really strong familiarity with, that's going to be better for the better team, right?
Exactly.
For the better mechanical team. And when you watch that first hardpoint match, you can only think that Shenandoah is coming into this next match with the better mechanics. So when I see a map like Invasion, which is so common and so familiar to everyone, I'm going to pick the team with the better mechanics. I'm going to pick Shenandoah. Now, when we're looking at Search and Destroy, it's going to be first to 6 points, right? Not first 250 points.
Right.
So, I mean, there might be less room for error there.
Exactly.
But Shenandoah, like you said, such an aggressive team, they can force weaker teams to make errors.
Exactly. And in a game mode like Search and Destroy, for those who are not familiar, you only have 1 life per player. So if you die, then unfortunately you are out until the next round happens, and every round switches from attacker to defender. So if it gets to 5-5, for example, then it is the last team who wins. It's based off of the amount of kills, not the amount of plants. So that's also a reason why you should maybe go for a little bit more kills.
Yeah, that is a reason to go for more kills. Thank you for sharing that with us, Vitaly. I mean, a lot of these Search and Destroys, they can be so close, right? So sometimes coming down to that last defending map or that last round, who's going to be the defense? I mean, that can be a really big deal in these tight series. So Shenandoah is going to stay aggressive, going to try to avoid that, I would say.
Right. And one of the big things that a lot of teams like to try and do is just hit bomb sites fast, right? So being able to trade each other out, because sometimes not everyone is set up in the proper spot, or not enough people are set up in a proper area, right? So being able to just hit a bomb site fast and explode out allows for trades to happen and allows for a potential bomb plant. And then you can set up basically anywhere around the map. But if you're on defending, try and stay patient, you know, wait for exactly like what you said, Avery. Just hold a certain angle, hold a certain lane, if you will, and just play for that kind of information. You don't have to get aggressive, but teams like to get aggressive.
Your life is so critical.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said before this even started, I mean, like, your life means so much more on Search and Destroy. On Hardpoint, you're going to respawn. On Control, even, you're going to respawn. It's a little more punishing because you have a certain amount of lives. But on Search and Destroy here, you have 1 life per round. You have 1 life. And yeah, you're going to respawn the next round. But when you're thinking about how you're not going to have any more impact on a round once you die, there's only 6 of those like to win. I mean, there could be potentially 11 of them, but
right.
I mean, every match is just so critical. So to hold those lives is so important. So I mean, when we're seeing Shenandoah go on these aggressive plays, it's not without risk. So let's see what they do going into this next matchup. Minute 30 on the clock. Relic has the bomb.
Yeah, Shenandoah is on the attacking side, and just like we talked about, they're trying to hit this B-bomb fast. You can see they are not slowing down. They're just trying to get super aggressive as Stevo is trying to smoke that ramp area off, trying to clear out Dark as we're getting some control around the map.
Yeah, you can see how...
Oh, Stevo's in. Stevo's in square.
Oh, they are pushing this bomb site. Vitaly Relic pushing through. He can't quite find it. Corvos is going to find Stevo.
Oh, and there's a pinch.
Oh, finally, Mossman is going to find him. But Space Tower is going to trade that. It's 3v2 for St. Mary's. Oh, but Toxic going to be the last one alive. He's going to have to take a 1v1 here. Great pick from Toxic. He's still pushing B site. Is he going to be able to pick up that bomb?
Toxic in a 1v1 situation, really just trying to make sure he has the time and control of this map. I mean, Bane setting up in a really aggressive spot. Toxic doesn't have it. It's not able to get that.
Toxic not quite able to get it, but it's up to Toxic to make the move. SMU is on the defending side, so Bane can hold this angle if he so wishes, but Toxic is going to find himself onto B site. He thinks that Bane is here, but he is not. Will they be able to find each other? This pick is going to decide the match. We're not going to be able to get to the bomb just yet. Toxic is going to grab it. He's going to attempt to plant it, Vitaly.
And he's going to get this bomb down, and now he just has to play for his life. He needs to go play somewhere in a really rat spot.
Wow, I'm very surprised that Toxic was able to plant that bomb. He's going to find the 1v1 here soon. He is not able to see Bane through the walls. That is the magic of observing.
It is indeed. As Bane is really just playing super slow.
It looks like he might approach here, Vitaly.
I think he's going to. He needs to. He has only basically 20 seconds left, and it takes roughly 7 seconds to defuse this bomb.
Knows it's on B site. Knows he has to come from this angle. Oh, Toxic's going to find him.
Toxic! With a huge kill to secure that first round.
I want to say Bane actually saw Toxic first, Vitaly. I mean, he slid in there, and you see Toxic tries to find a different angle here, but snaps back onto the opponent and just beams him, Vitaly.
And Toxic with the huge 2 kills to start off this Search and Destroy. Now we're on defense. St. Mary's really needs to figure out what their playstyle is, how they're going to approach the defense of Shenandoah.
I mean, they look so strong on offense. So like they almost looked a little bit defensive on offense there at the end, with Toxic able to hold that angle and you plant that bomb at the very last second. So curious to see if St. Mary's can make the same magic happen on offense. Going to be watching Stevo here as he takes this high ground. No one around there just yet. You see St. Mary's players really bunched up here while Shenandoah really spread out. Not sure what site they're going to go to just yet.
Yeah, they're really just grouping up towards this B side area as both Toxic and Relic are just controlling this A bomb. Stevo getting a huge pick onto MK, bringing it down to 3 lives for St. Mary's, as bomb is still in the back.
Yeah, Stevo just doing an excellent job here holding this building. They do have the numbers advantage here, and you can see these players just holding their corners. Corvos doesn't want to get out from that spot. Knows someone might be there. Toxic gonna try to shoot through this wall, not quite gonna find it. Trying to sneak around the tank, but Toxic's gonna hunt you like you're a worm and he's the bird. See if Relic and Mossman can pinch this next player here. Relic gonna not be able to find that, but Shenandoah still up 2-1. Will Moss be able to find the back of Corvos? He will. The bomb site has been defended, and this spread out defense of Shenandoah just worked absolutely beautifully. You can see at the very beginning how Steve-O was able to find that early pick, and from there, St. Mary's was never able to get a gunfight that was in their favor because Steve-O was able to get that early pick. Vitaly, such a great strategic play from these players, such great awareness from all of them.
Exactly, and you saw there they were spread out, right? They weren't really over-aggressing too much. Steve-O was getting in a little bit of an aggressive spot, but it's still fairly safe to
But it's
to control.
Steve-O.
It's Steve-O, yeah, that's true. It is Steve-O. And we do have Relic as the bomb carrier for Shenandoah, as Steve-O is going to be pushing up towards this B side. We do see the Shenandoah side trying to play aggressive towards this A, as Toxic does get spaced out. Oh, and gets traded out. Corvos, huge pick there. And I think we're trying to plant this bomb fast.
They certainly are. You can see Mossman just absolutely pushing this bomb site. He's going to spot another player here over. Can he find him with the grenade? Not quite. Corv barely avoided that. Is he going to be able to get away in the smoke? Mossman knows where he's at. Toxic killing spree of 5. Up in here. It looks like Mossman is going to find him. Man. Even when there's only one-on-one left, Mossman's just able to clean it up. Steve-O was able to, like, or SMU was able to find themselves in 2v1 earlier versus Steve-O, right?
Yeah.
When, right when they thought they were finally going to have a 2v1 on Shenandoah, the second player didn't engage fast enough, and Steve-O was able to get that pick onto that first one before he was traded out. And since then, SMU was never able to get into a better gunfight.
Exactly, and St. Mary's really needs to try and spread out throughout this defensive side, or this attack side, you know, get this information, try and figure out where we're trying to hit, because, again, if you're seeing Steve-O, it's going to be a really difficult battle to fight.
Yeah, I mean, Toxic still without a death to his name. Going to take another 1v1 here versus Spaced Out. Going to disengage here. Doesn't want to ruin his streak. Going to run over to B. You can see Shenandoah still playing the spread out strategy. It looks like SMU is going to be going for A site this time.
Relic gets a huge trade on an MK as Mossman also picks up another one onto Bane, making it a 4v2 situation for Shenandoah.
Mossman's just been loving this tank angle where he's able to pick off that same player again from SMU, and another 4v1 is going to be in Shenandoah's hands. Corvos is the last alive. He's going to have to find some way to plant this bomb, but he knows Steve-O's in this building, and he's going to have to take a 1v1 with him, and that's not a spot you want to be at, especially when Shenandoah has backup. Shenandoah is going to take the next round.
I mean, Shenandoah is playing this super strategically, playing together, making sure that they're playing in safe, tradable angles, and as you see here, I mean, 4 down.
Nowhere to go. I mean, Toxic just going to come in there with a nice 6-0. I mean, amazing stuff from him. Just when Steve-O was trying to distract the player, you got another one coming from your flank, and it's so difficult when you're in that 1v4 spot. You got to win those early fights, and when Shenandoah is playing such strong defense, it's hard to. It's up to SMU here. Going to get the defense back. Let's see, Shenandoah is fast pushing again, Vitaly.
Yeah, they are, and I'm pretty sure that Toxic is going to be using his cruise missile, and they're just trying to clear anybody out of this B site. They're not too sure if B is clear, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, MK and Spaced Out getting it huge too, as now it's a 2v4 situation for Shenandoah. Toxic trying to just stay alive back here. He does have bomb.
Yeah, SMU finds himself in the lead for the first time. Are they going to be able to close this out? They are going to be able to find Steve-O, and Toxic's going to have to take Shenandoah's first 1v4 of the series, and this is going to be a tough one to win. He sees the bomb on the ground, but he also knows there's a player around this car, and finally, St. Mary's is going to be taking that round, going to move the score to 1-4. Shenandoah finally finding themselves on a round loss, but I mean, they still have the momentum, I would say, Vitaly. This is a great round from St. Mary's. I'm really glad to see that they are pushing this team, but they're going to have to do it again on attack, which is going to be a little harder.
Exactly. I mean, they have the cushion with the amount of rounds that they currently have won, but St. Mary's getting that first round win might spark some sort of fire into St. Mary's, as they are going to be attacking into this next round.
Yeah, and killing that fire from Toxic, right? That's got to feel good as well. That 6-0 streak. They're going to be pushing here. Looks like towards A site. staying together here. Mossman holding the same angle.
Oh,
Relic going to be
Relic.
holding this one. I mean, these two just have their spots and they hold them like hawks. These picks are just looking absolutely fantastic from Shenandoah, and that bomb is going to be making its way towards the A site, moving a little bit more downwards this time. See if Relic is going to push this. He's just going to keep holding these angles while the rest of his teammates linger around B.
Yeah, St. Mary's has a lot of time still. They have 55 seconds. You know, they're just trying to get a lot of information, figure out where they really want to execute. And on the A bomb, I mean, we have 2 people, and on the B bomb, we basically have 2 people as well, being able to hold both that middle lane and that B lane. Yeah,
I mean, look how just patient Shenandoah is being right now. They know SMU is going to come to them. Mossman going to find a pick onto MK. That is huge. Toxic going to try to find ahead of someone coming to this A site, but SMU not peeking just yet. Spaced out. Looks like he might move in. Oh, but Relic's going to find him and cleaned up. Shenandoah going to take that round as well. That spread out defense we've been seeing this whole time here on Invasion. I mean, just clinical here from Mossman, from Toxic. Just holding their angles, making sure that SMU is the one that has to come to them. And at the end of the day, they are able to win another round.
Yeah, and they need one more round to win in this search and destroy map mode, and that'll be map number 2. I mean, Toxic is playing lights out, 7-1, only died 1 time, as the side of St. Mary's is going to be defending.
Yeah, look at this consistency from Shenandoah. No one with a negative KD, and just the consistency from them has been the reason they're able to hold this 5-1 lead. And this team is just not slowing down as they maul this A site. Here comes the cruise missile from Toxic.
Oh, and that's 2 massive picks, and they know that the both players are going to be playing towards this B site. Stevo knows that, and he's just getting aggressive.
Oh, Stevo finds one. He knows there's another one there as well. Is he going to force him to peek? Oh, no, he doesn't know. I thought for sure he saw that other head of the other player.
And that bomb is down, and Corvus only has basically 30 seconds to kill 4 members of Shenandoah and defuse the bomb.
Look at Relic just willing to wait this out, and the kill is going to find its mark. Shenandoah is going to win round 2. That's going to be 6-1 for Shenandoah, and that's going to lead the entire series 2-0 in the favor of Shenandoah, moving on to Control.
And that was a super clinical performance by Shenandoah.
Amazing.
I mean, being able to just play in unison, play cohesively, again, like we talked about, being able to have those moments where you play together as a team really shows in these moments. And like we just saw, Shenandoah being able to trade out each other, being able to play in those safe angles, led to success.
You can physically see the coordination of this team, Vitaly. You can see when they choose to play fast, when they choose to hold angles, when they choose to hold their angles and then push, when they choose to wait a little longer before leaving an area. All these things I just listed have been critical reasons why Shenandoah was able to win this series as convincingly as they were. St. Mary's was able to find 1 round, Vitaly, but after that, just never able to get the momentum back. And I mean, when we get these long streaks from these players, it just gets easier and easier. You start to fear the cruise missile. You start to fear that these players are getting too much fire, and it can make you make rough decisions, and these players force you into that. So great strategic minds here of Shenandoah, going to be taking the search and destroy on Invasion. And there's something about staying on the same map when you just won on it, right, Vitaly?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're, even though it's a completely different game mode where you have zones and you have more lives than you did before, at the end of the day, you're playing on the same map. And sometimes that can give you the momentum you need, the mentality you need to just clean it up.
Exactly. Being able to have understanding of a map is so crucial, right? And having that understanding in multiple game modes is also super crucial. So I feel like Shenandoah has that advantage, being able to understand the map well, being able to understand what's the right angle to hold, right? And being able to push up when needed, as we see here. Stevo is absolutely just getting aggressive, and the rest of the team is trying to flood this guy.
Watch out for Toxic, here he comes.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like that's what we're going to be seeing a lot in Control. And again, Control, we have 30 lives on both sides. So there's multiple ways to win in Control, which is the nice part. But if you're on the defending side, it's going to be difficult, as we see Mossman and Toxic going insane on that search and destroy.
Yeah, I was so impressed with Toxic this series. I mean, just the 7 KD, absolutely incredible. You can see no one going negative from the side of Shenandoah. Just so much consistency in this team. I'm like really only losing 1 round, and like I said before, I really didn't see a point in the match where they were really down.
Yeah.
Even the matches when they won, it's not like they made comebacks, right? They got those early picks, and they were able to just hold those leads. And when you're able to hold those leads, I mean, those KDs are going to shoot up. So great stuff to the whole squad here, really diversified as well. I mean, it's not like one player is really carrying here. We got kills all around the board. I mean, looking at this score line, Shenandoah just looks so strong.
They do. And I mean, St. Mary's is doing their best trying to get those picks, and there's just people catching fire at the right times on the side of Shenandoah, and it's really paying off for them. I mean, St. Mary's is doing a really good job trying to play together, you know, being able to utilize that map knowledge. I mean, Corvos also, I believe, went positive during that series. I could be mistaken, but Corvos was doing a lot on the side of St. Mary's as well, and hopefully the rest of the team can start to pick it back up here as we head into an invasion control.
There's a lot of room for adaptation on control, right? I mean, we talked about, we looked at their hard port performance, and we're thinking, I mean, it's another game mode where you got to control zones. I mean, Shenandoah is just going to steamroll, right? Well, really, you have that idea of the lives coming into play as well, so it almost mixes hard point and search and destroy without the bomb component. So you have the option of going for kills. You have the option of going for the zone.
Yeah.
But the more you push those zones, the more you're going to risk your lives. And all those things you have to consider. You have to consider those, like you said, those angles that you have to hold in order to get those kills. But, you know, the zones, you have to push them eventually. I mean,
exactly.
Or the other team's just going to take them. So a lot of room for adaptation, I think, on control.
Exactly. And the attacking team is going to be spawning Palace side, which is the really big building out in the back, and the defending team is going to be spawning towards the gas side of the map. So we're going to be seeing a lot of different strategies and approaches to how we can see each team, you know, take space of this map. That's really the big key to control, right? Is if you're defending, you want to try and take as much map control as you can and potentially play for the spawns. Being able to play for the spawns is crucial because then you can just eliminate lives and keep ticking that time down, because again, you can win off of time, you can win off of lives, and if they don't capture anything, then you win as well.
So you're saying one strategy from Shenandoah might be to capture the zones, but then once they have the zone, push the spawn of SMU. Is that something we could see?
Potentially. I was more so saying on the defensive side.
Oh,
so
okay.
Shenandoah is on the defensive side, right? Being able to get those picks where needed and then push up and be aggressive towards their spawn is going to be huge, right? And, I mean, you can definitely do it on attack as well. I mean, that'll also be super helpful if you could do that as well. Being able to spawn trap the opposing team is just something that's super crucial in a game mode like Control.
All right, here we go, getting right into the action. A ringer from last match, Toxic, going to be on your screen right now, looking for some heads and relic.
Oh
Mossman going to find the intro picks, and oh my goodness, Shenandoah is opening up strong, Vitaly.
Mossman with a huge 3-piece, and Toxic cleaning it up to get that 4. Getting another one onto MK, as Mossman also finds base. Stevo finds Corvos. Stevo also finds spaced out. We're just playing for spawn traps now. Stevo is going into the spot that I was talking about where we can potentially see the spawn trap happening.
A single tick has not been put on these zones, Vitaly, but 9 lives have been taken. A whole cat is out of the bag,
oh my
and
goodness.
Toxic is just going to continue with these picks. Finally, Corvus is going to find one for his team. Stevo and MK going to find Mossman. SMU going to push forward, going to push back. They don't want to go down without a fight, and they're going to try to find their way into these zones, but it looks like the picks are just going to be what this is all about. Relic with another.
Being able to get that huge pick. One more. Oh my gosh, Mossman. What are you on today? We have 17 seconds left until they win round 1. Relic being super aggressive here, as well as Stevo. They did get a pick on to Toxic as they're trying to push up on this B.
This is the first time that the timer has even stopped, Vitaly. SMU is finally going to get some progress on B. Relic going
my
crazy,
gosh.
and Toxic taking the 3rd, Toxic taking the 4th, and that's a full team wipe for Shenandoah. That may just be it as they look to recapture this zone, and the picks are going to be the reason that Shenandoah takes game 1. Not forgive me, one singular tick onto B site, but the round is over.
I mean, that was clinical. This is exactly what I was talking about, right? Being able to be aggressive in those spawns is going to be crucial.
It's exactly what you said, Vitaly.
Exactly, and that's just something that Shenandoah understands, right? Being able to run that time down as fast as you can while also being able to get those picks. I mean, they were stuck for, I think, 20 seconds just trying to get out of spawn.
Easily.
And now we see the attack side of Shenandoah as they're pushing up towards A side. And we see St. Mary's preemptively going to A. Steve-O getting a huge nade kill onto MK as Bane is in the back of A.
That's the second time we've seen Shenandoah
Oh
open
my
up with
goodness.
these incredible intro picks with the grenade, and then Relic going to find himself a bit overwhelmed here, but Toxic's right behind him to clean things up, and Toxic's going to be able to hold this angle down as his team takes over the A site. A point is secured as Steve-O continues to push, going to find Corvo. Is he going to find the second one? Yes, he is! On to Bane as well. Shenandoah looking spectacular as they have the lives lead again and are continuing to capture B, Vitaly.
And Relic is trying to get this time as Toxic and Steve-O are just in their spawns trying to just keep them away from that B site.
Relic just going to try to look over this stone wall. Oh, final MK going to find two Shenandoah members lacking a little bit. Mossman and Relic going to fall there, and he's going to hold this tank line as well. Not going to be able to find anyone just yet. Going to move on to Steve-O here. We can see that progress slowly diminishing from Shenandoah on B site. If they're not there, it is going to slowly go away, and that's what SMU's win condition is here. If Shenandoah captures that B point, it is over, and it looks like Shenandoah is going to push forward. Steve-O and Mossman going to clear out some members of SMU. Are they going to be able to get the rest of them as Steve-O runs away? He's not too confident. He's going to try to find the pick here. MK doesn't know he's there.
And that's round 2. I mean, another thing that I forgot to mention, which is super important about Control, is the more people that are on the point, the faster the tick gets captured. So ideally, you want all of your players to be on there. Ideally, because it'll be faster. That's after, though, you get all of the kills, right? So if you can have 1 to 2 people playing around the time and being able to try and get those picks, the picks that are onto the B or A site, is crucial. And as we saw, Steve-O was lurking in their spawn for probably 20 to 30 seconds, just not doing anything, and then comes in with 2 huge kills.
Yeah, no grenade opening this time. It's just going to be Relic with the gun. But SMU going to find 2 of their own. A nice even start here. First time we're able to see SMU have a nice start here. Let's see if they can hold this here as they continue to push towards these sites. A and OB is going to be the one that's going to be starting to be captured first.
And they have 2 people on B as we see Toxic going to be on a big flank here. Relic gets one. Mossman also gets one on Spaced Out as Relic is trying to pinch with Toxic, but Toxic does go down. And Relic is just staying alive. They're really not trying to give any ticks to St. Mary's.
St. Mary's, though, looking in a great spot to control this B site. They are going to secure it. Like you said, Vitaly, when you have more players on that B site, it gains quicker than you think it does. And when you're trying to play around that area, try to get that B site, they're just going to keep capturing it. So they have to push forward eventually. So it's great from St. Mary's to be able to capture that site. They have a lot more time to play with. Still plenty of lives on the board. They can take their time, figure out how they're going to attack this A site.
And that was a huge pickup. And if Bane would have gotten those 2, that would have been really bad for the side of Shenandoah. But Steve-O being able to clear that up. Relic also being able to get that pick as well. Corvos, though, gets a pick on a Mossman as Toxic gets a huge trade with a nade.
Did you notice that Steve-O is 16-1 right now, Vitaly? I mean, just absolutely going crazy on these gunfights. Just picking off these members of SMU. Relic and Steve-O going to find 2 there. Relic's the only one down from Shenandoah. It looks like A site is going to be controlled pretty well here by Shenandoah. You can see on your minimap how SMU is just nowhere near this site.
MK is in their spawn, though. That's actually insane. Oh, as Toxic spawns right next to MK, will they be able to clear him out?
That was incredible from SMU. Finally able to get a 2v1 there. And now they're going to just continue to hold this. Only 50 seconds left on the clock.
Shenandoah up 7 lives. Correction, up 9 lives. Mossman trying to clear out this Riverside as he does. On to Spaced Out.
How many lives are they going to take before they start getting scared? I mean, SMU only has 8 more left. They want to capture this A site. They don't want to take 19 lives off of Shenandoah. Only 7 more to the name. Only 25 seconds on the clock, and Shenandoah is just rolling through this team. SMU understands that they have to make something happen. No respawns are remaining. Only 4 lives left. 15 seconds on the clock. They need to make something happen on this A site, but Relic is just holding this angle perfectly. There's so many players going through, but Relic just takes out all of them. Is he going to get another? He is, Vitaly!
Oh my gosh, that sequence of events
It's a wrap, Vitaly.
was insane.
Pack it up, get on the plane, put the luggage in the top compartment.
Shenandoah sweeps St. Mary's for a solid, convincing 3-0. As we see the boys finishing it off in style. Relic getting his huge third. And that's it for game number 1. Just like that.
Talk me through this, Vitaly.
Yeah.
What just happened?
What happened was Steve-O went into takeover mode. He got 20 kills and died 3 times. That is really hard to do.
It is. I mean, like we said before, this is the top tier of competition. You said this guy is a leader for his team. He's a tactician. But mechanically, he's the leader as well. Look how strong he is on this control map.
He's just an all-around kind of guy. I mean, he has the brains. He has the gameplay. He also has the looks. I mean, he
plays lacrosse.
He's a total package. A total package. And there he is right there, being able to showcase his dominance on a St. Mary. But again, we also have amazing players like Mossman and Toxic being able to get those huge picks and those big 3-piece picks. I mean, Toxic went huge in the SND game.
I was so impressed with Relic's performance here right at the end as well. I believe he was actually the one that cleaned up the last members of SMU there.
Yeah.
Just such great performance from the whole team. You try to pick an MVP and it just, I mean, that's a nightmare to try to do. This team is just so coordinated.
Agreed. I mean, again, St. Mary's maybe had a really tough start on that first Skid Row, right? Being able to see the power and dominance of Shenandoah as they were just trading each other out, you know, taking a ton of map control. And they felt that definitely in that search and destroy. And I think that kind of led into this control game. I mean, we saw a lot of times where I said, you know, in the beginning, maybe they should play a little bit more passive, but we are going to see some aggression. And I mean, out the gates, they were just super aggressive going in. And I love
Shout outs to Vitaly here on the desk with me and Sid and Vic as well. Mossman's teammates that are not currently playing right now. Those substitutes that are just as much a part of the team as the players you see right here. Lots of love for the entire COD team. Mossman loves showing off some messages and some hearts for the chat and for his bestest of friends. Vitaly, talk me through these incredible stats.
I mean, yeah. The first one that pops up in my mind, obviously, is Steve-O, right? He gets 20 kills, the most in the lobby. Then he drops 3 deaths, which is the least in the lobby. Gets 8 assists, which is probably the most in the lobby. And finishes it off with a 6.67 KD. I mean, what more could you ask for? Maybe he didn't die at the end. I don't know. Maybe that would have saved his stat a little bit. But again, we see Mossman, Relic, and Toxic being able to do basically the same thing. I mean, were just pretty even. I mean, Steve-O, again, he popped off on this control, but the rest of the guys playing it at a super high level.
Yeah, I mean, this team, not always the 4 you see here. I mean, as I've said before, I mean, this team is playing in multiple leagues, right, Vitaly?
Right.
I mean, you're on the team yourself. I mean, you have players coming in and leaving, but it seems like the cohesion is always there. It seems like the team is still always so spread out when we look at, you know, the stats, when we look at the kill feed, when we look at who's performing really well. It seems like no matter who's playing for this Call of Duty team, it's still the strong Shenandoah that we all know. I mean, look at this score line.
Yeah.
I mean, you could not ask for better. I mean, SMU, not a weak team. They're going to push, you know, 86 points on hardpoint. They're going to get 1 map on Search and Destroy. I mean, we saw some great things even from them on Control that aren't going to show on the score line.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, Shenandoah, I mean, if you look at the stats, such a great performance. Overall, just amazing.
I mean, I think the one map that really stood out to me was the Search and Destroy. I mean, yes, that was the one round that they lost in that Search and Destroy, but I mean, let's not forget, Toxic is going huge on that.
Insanity.
That's what I'm saying.
6-0 before, you know, you could even blink your eyes.
I don't. And then he gets a cruise missile, and then he uses it, and then he gets one. I mean, it's just a lot of clinical stuff that Shenandoah is doing. I mean, props to St. Mary. I mean, it's hard going against Steve-O. I know it from personal experience. It's hard. Steve-O is really good. But so are the other rosters, or other members on this roster. I mean, everyone can shoot. Everyone has the brains. I mean, it's tough to go against a team like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a competitively seasoned team, like you said. A lot of seniors on this team, a lot of players. This is not their first semester competing. And for many of them, it may be their last semester competing. So a lot of heart going into these matches, a lot of passion, a lot of leadership. And it's great to just see the performance. I mean, when we see games like this is experience talking. It's a beautiful thing to witness.
I mean, being able to have, again, what you're saying, that passion going into these games is something that we've kind of all been jokingly talking about throughout the winter break and going into this semester, but it actually shows in our practices. I mean, it even is showing in our games such as today. I mean, again, we're going to be going up against another really solid team against Farmingdale soon.
It's not even over yet, Vitaly.
It's not even over. It's not even over. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the short break.
From Shenandoah, gonna hold that first point first, but St. Mary's is quickly gonna take it back, and Steve-O's gonna pick up two.
Oh my gosh! Steve coming in big with the 2-piece. Now we're just trying to play for this control. We're nice and slow. You don't have to overcommit. Bossman just going crazy, getting one as Relic also gets another one. Bossman gets a second. Does he get the third? He gets the third! Mossman is popping off no matter where they go.
Mossman is just there, Vitaly.
Mossman
on the defense. Mossman gonna find another pick. This man is 20-6. Oh, but gonna find himself in an explosion.
Steve-O gets a huge pick into that.
He knows he has to come from this angle. Oh, Toxic's gonna find him.
Toxic! Steve-O getting a huge pick onto
Toxic. Gonna try to shoot through this wall. Not quite gonna find it. Trying to sneak around the tank, but Toxic's gonna hunt you. Killing spree of 5. Up in here, it looks like Mossman is gonna find him, man. From SMU, and another 4v1 is gonna be in Shenandoah's hands. Corvos is the last alive. He's gonna have to find some way to plant this bomb, but he knows Steve-O's in this building, and he's gonna have to take a 1v1 with him, and that's not a spot you wanna be at, especially when Shenandoah has backup. Cleaned up, Shenandoah gonna take that round. He knows there's another one there as well. Is he gonna force him to peek? Oh no, he doesn't know. It's Vitaly, but 9 lives have been taken. A whole cat is out of the bag, and Toxic is just going their way into these zones. But it looks like the picks are just going to be what this is all about. Relic with another.
Being able to get that huge pick. One more. Oh my gosh.
He is finally going to get some progress on B. Relic going crazy. And Toxic taking these incredible intro picks with the grenade. And then Relic going to find himself a bit of as Steve-O continues to push. Going to find Corvo. Is he going to find the second one? They're continuing to capture B, Vitaly.
And Relic is trying to get this time as Toxic and
that's what SMU's win condition is here. If Shenandoah captures that B point, it is over. Left 15 seconds on the clock. They need to make something happen on this A side, but Relic is just holding this angle perfectly.
Welcome back, everybody, and I have a new caster with me today. We got Ben on the desk. Ben, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Excited to get into the second match of COD on the night against Farmingdale State University. It's
Exactly.
a tougher matchup for the Shenandoah boys, but excited to get into it.
Yeah, and Farmingdale is a top 20 team, I believe, in the country at the moment. So they got a lot of competition coming in. They just won their series, and as well as us, we also won our series against St. Mary's University. St. Mary's did play pretty well, but Shenandoah just were a well-oiled machine getting things done. I mean, we have a lot of great talent, and they all showcase it in each different map. I mean, we had Steve-O popping off in Control.
Yeah.
We had Toxic popping off in the Search and Destroy, and then we had Relic and Moss really cleaning it up and being the pivotal points in that hard point. I mean, not really much else to say in that series as it was a 3-0. But let's look at the stats. I mean, we have, again, Toxic getting the most kills in that entire series. Also, one of the least amount of deaths. Again, Steve-O dropping 12 deaths because of that invasion control. He only died 3 times.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the KDs are pretty even almost across the board.
Yeah, I mean, Steve-O was really just playing out of his mind in the last series. Everyone really was on their A game, and really kind of picking up slack where it was given. You know, like Steve-O had his insane control round, and then really Moss and Relic really held up their end on hardpoint, and Toxic again on Search and Destroy. Everyone kind of just fell into their play styles and their spots perfectly, and they were able to really mesh together and really roll through the first match today.
Exactly, and hopefully we get to see that more as we're going to be getting into another game here soon against Farmingdale University. And they just won their series against Humber University, who is also a really great college. They actually won the first CCL tournament, so being able to beat that kind of caliber team, I mean, speaks volumes, you know. So being able to have a win under their belt and then coming into really, you know, amped up Shenandoah team, I mean, it's going to be a really good series, I feel like.
Yeah, I'd expect a lot of scrappiness, right? A lot of gunfights and really even gameplay kind of across the board. As we said, Farmingdale is a very, very good team. Well, I believe we have the map pool ready for you guys, so we can pull that up real quick to see what we're playing. Skid Row, Invasion, 2 in a row, and then Subbase back to Skid Row.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Shenandoah absolutely dominate on this Skid Row hardpoint as, I mean, again, St. Mary only got 86 points. So phenomenal stuff from Shenandoah, and then we saw the powerhouse of a team that we are on that Search and Destroy, and again, Invasion Control. I mean, we just saw those 3 maps, so we're going to be seeing those again. But if my prediction is correct, hopefully we get to see a little bit more maps, and that sub-based hardpoint is going to be a fun one to watch. We haven't seen it yet. I know that the team has been practicing on it as well, and with the new changes to the hills, there's going to be some interesting routes, some interesting plays that are going to be taken on this map in particular. But this is going to be a close one. I mean, the boys are starting to lock in, shooting the bots that they need to, getting their aim ready. This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting not a 3-0 in this set here against Farmingdale. It could go to 5. I think it might be like a 3-1. Not sure which way it'll go. I know both teams are really coming off of big wins. SU feeling hot, Farmingdale the same way, feeling on their A game. It's going to be interesting coming into this to really see what players step up on both sides. Will it be Steve-O again just lighting it up in Control, and vice versa with Relic and Mossman and Toxic really stepping up in their roles on other games and maps for Shenandoah University? It's going to be interesting to see if they can really keep it up, because really when you're feeling yourself and you're really going and you kind of overextend a little bit, maybe like take a few gunfights that you shouldn't, and that can really swing the momentum in the other team's favor.
Exactly. And something that we saw actually that Shenandoah did that was both amazing to watch, but also a little bit scary to watch, especially getting ready to go into this next series, is the aggression that they had, right? So that's something I was really harping on throughout that series, was they were getting aggressive, and that's really good, especially if you're feeling confident, if you're feeling hot, if your shot is on. I mean, a lot of factors go into that. But that, again, the biggest part of all of that is actually the team cohesion, right? So if we're able to see that against a team like this today, I mean, hopefully we could potentially see a 3-0 still. It's definitely not out of the question, right? But being able to have that mental focus is something that's we're going to have to really work hard on in this upcoming series.
Yeah, definitely trusting your teammates to hold angles, really trusting calls across the board is something that really can set teams apart from others. If you're playing as a unit, sometimes skill isn't the one thing that is going to win you games. If you're all together and moving cohesively and really knowing what your next step is going to be for points, retakes, and chows, it can really just blow the game wide open.
Yeah, exactly. And some of the players actually on Farmingdale, I believe, are also in a Challengers team as well, or they played in the Challenger series as well. So they have a lot of high-level, gameplay and experience. Similar to, one of our players, Steve, he has also Challengers experience as well. So really being able to showcase that high-level gameplay and knowledge of just, spawns for, like, hardpoint, just playmaking and, like, search and destroy, and even in control. I mean, we're going to see a lot of different things that I feel like we missed out on in this previous series.
Right, and I'm excited to really see the difference in play styles between last match and this match, with competition kind of taking a notch up with a harder team in Farmingdale. That means Shenandoah is going to have to step it up and really be able to plan out what their moves are going to be. They can't run and gun like they really did in the last series. It's going to have to be more calculated, more connected, and really just more in control and steady, controlling like the pace of game and not really pushing too far, not playing too reserved, but kind of in that middle ground of picking the right battles, the right chows that they can take against Farmingdale, and hope that Farmingdale doesn't really see it coming, or that they can really just outmaneuver and outplay in different choke points.
That was well said. I mean, I agree with everything that you just said, Ben. I actually have a question. Who is your favorite player right now on our Shenandoah roster?
Favorite player right now?
Or maybe one that caught your attention throughout that past series.
The past series, Steve-O stuck out a lot, especially on control there. I think he, 18-2, 20-2? 20-3. Yeah, he went crazy. I expect him to keep the momentum coming into this series, and really, with Steve-O popping off, that really elevates the rest of the team's gameplay. So being able to follow in his kind of leadership that he has with the team, I think it'll round out well, and that is going to be a tough matchup for Farmingdale coming into play this version of Shenandoah.
Agreed. And actually, Farmingdale had a pretty close series. We took a look at it a little bit between Farmingdale and Humber, and the games were pretty close. I mean, the points were close on hardpoint. Search and destroy was also pretty close, and then control, I believe, was also fairly even. I mean, it was a really well contested, series. But although they did 3-0 them, it was still really hard to try and secure those wins. So I think Farmingdale at the moment has the upper advantage, being able to have that kind of competition already, that kind of skill level, where for us, we just got off of a fairly easy win at the moment, right? And that's not to say, St. Mary's played well, but Shenandoah was just on another level today, and hopefully they can continue to elevate that level, just like you said.
Yeah, having that harder competition earlier in the day for Farmingdale really kind of, I feel like it already steps up their gameplay, right? They're already at that level of, hey, we need to be playing smart, playing fast, slow when needed to. And Shenandoah in their last series, they were just full gas pedal, right? They did not let up. They did not slow down. And that's not something that you can really do against a higher level team like Farmingdale, because they will look to punish overextensions and mistakes that can come with that kind of play style.
Exactly. And that's with, again, being aggressive. That's not something that's as effective, against those better teams. Like your Farmingdales, right? I mean, again, if there was a team that was super aggressive towards Shenandoah, I feel like we would handle that pretty well, being able to hold our own ground. But that's just kind of the nature of these top-tier teams, is they understand, the ebb and flow of how the game's going, right? So if, for example, like on Skid Row, for example, if Shenandoah has that control of P2, I mean, it's going to be tough for Farmingdale, but they're going to understand, let's try and go take map control somewhere else. Let's try and play for this new hill. Let's just play to our advantage, right? They already set up, and that's probably the mindset that both of these teams are thinking in right now. And, they're going to need to play for those trades. In the past series, we saw a lot of individual plays, which was amazing to watch, fun to cast. I loved it. I loved all of it. But now we're going to see a lot of bait and switches, a lot of trades. Hopefully, we can still see some really big plays from individual players. This is just going to be a fun, hard point to watch.
Yeah, and really carrying over the momentum from last series for Shenandoah is going to be key. Their hard point looked incredibly good against St. Mary's in the last series. I believe it was 250 to 86 was the scoreline in that match for that map. And it's really the P2 control that Shenandoah had. Mossman was just all over tunnel, all over that cross range there. And really, St. Mary's wasn't able to approach P2. And if they can do that again here, I think it could be a big momentum boost and a morale boost for the team as a whole.
Exactly. I think Mossman really solidified a lot of that, those gaps in that hard point. And being able to have somebody to glue, the pieces together is super crucial. And again, Mossman and Relic really played those roles. And although they may not have gotten the high kills that they typically do, actually, I don't even know if Mossman actually did get some pretty high kills, I believe. I was wrong. They're going to be playing lights out, hopefully again, this is just going to be another really good series. Both teams are 1-0 right now. And, we're getting a little fly through of the map. This P2 is super hard to break. I mean, you have to really play for whatever picks you can. And the hard part is if a team has control of that P2, they're spawning either pretty close if the team is not close enough, if that kind of makes sense. Like, if the other team is trying to push towards the hill and they already have a lot of space, if one person goes down trying to defend this hill, they're going to be spawning out.
Right.
So that just allows for the opposing team to just flood as fast as they can, unless they just happen to continuously get, the close spawn. But that's just something that Farmingdale, I believe, already knows, and they're going to be playing for that. So we're going to be seeing some pretty early contests for this P2.
Yeah, I definitely expect some early contests here coming from both sides, trying to kind of not let the full setup really get stapled into really P2 as a whole. I like what you said earlier about KDAs. They're important, but just kills aren't everything, right? Just being able to have that exertion of pressure of someone not knowing where someone else is. That's a big one in Search and Destroy, because once you're dead for the rest of the round. If it's 2-1, even if it's only like a 1v1, that pressure of, hey, I don't know where this other person is, really gets in the minds of players and can really change the play styles and approaches that people come to points. And that can really affect the entire outcome of games. Just having that pressure point, KDA, yes, it's awesome if you're popping off, but just being that person to be like, hey, I have your back if something does go wrong is amazing.
Right. And then another big point on the same map is actually P5. So that P5 is also super hard to break. You have to spawn out so far if you die, and you have to try and take as much time as you can to regroup. And again, if you're not coordinated enough, or if you're not getting those kills, it's so hard to break through either P2 or P5, right? So being able to have those controls of spawns are really something that both teams are going to be doing. We're going to be seeing a lot of that, and hopefully we can see a lot of that action, soon.
Yeah, and hopefully we jump into game here shortly. I'm not sure what's going on, but I think we're still kind of warming up, getting people in lobbies, figuring some stuff out. But yeah, it's just going to be, I feel like, a close match all around, really. Farmingdale has been playing really, really well. They're 1-0. Shenandoah 1-0 as well, winning earlier. And it's really going to come down to kind of team play, right? It's not really individual play. Of course, individuals can really step up and really define a series, but one person doesn't win a map, right?
Exactly.
It's going to take all four, and if they're all firing on all cylinders like Shenandoah has done in the past series, I could see it really swinging in favor for SU.
The thing about this too is, how well can their mental space, how well is their mental space right now, right? Like, they just got off of a series, both teams, and, they're riding this high, right? And it really depends on who can stay above and beyond,
Right.
Right? Like being able to play at another level is even harder to do after you just played another, set of series of games.
Right. Yeah. Keeping on top of the positive vibes, right? Don't let yourself get down in the dumps if you have a bad map or a bad round here and there. It happens, right?
It does.
Regain your mental, go again, communicate with your teammates. Maybe your teammates boost you up a little bit like, hey, it's all right, no worries. It was a hard angle to hold, hard gunfight, right? And just regain, regroup, and go again like nothing happened.
Exactly.
That's something that I've seen Shenandoah be able to do in the past. Specifically, Relic does a good job of keeping mentals kind of together in the team, being like, hey, it's all right, let's go again, we'll figure it out. And they've been able to do that and keep the positive mentality and the positive vibes as a cohesive unit.
Exactly. And I think vibes at the moment are going to be high. Like I said, I mean, we just got off of a win. We're all excited to get into this next series, and I'm just so pumped to see what kind of gameplay we're going to be seeing.
Yeah. It's going to be close. I mean, there's not a whole lot to really go into detail, right? Both teams are really going off of wins here. Steve-O really doing well, and we're going to be right back. We're going to send to a quick 30. Never mind. We might be jumping into game here shortly, but we're just going to hang out right now.
Sure.
What's your predictions for the series?
Yeah, okay. I feel like Farmingdale might win map 1, okay?
Okay.
I feel like our Search and Destroy is going to be really solid and control, and then we're going to be taking sub-base. So I have us at a 4-map series.
4-map series?
4-map series is where I'm at. It doesn't have to be exactly like that, but we're getting into this P1. Steve-O pushing through this P3, doesn't get a stun, but does get a nade. So he does recognize that. Steve-O does go down, though. Sees 2.
Yeah, Steve-O losing that gunfight. The point is contested, but Farmingdale is going to run through. A kill picked up there by Mossman, but it's going to be answered back quickly by Farmingdale. 2 dropping fast. Full control now on P1 for Farmingdale. Shenandoah not really able to penetrate the defenses that Farmingdale has set up.
Not at all, but the beautiful part about this is that Mossman and Toxic are already set up on this new P2, on this new hill. As Toxic is setting up in garage, there is Tez playing super deep right now, just trying to get some information as CDL is going to be pushing through. Almost gets 1, but Toxic does clean it up. Tez also gets Toxic. Now we have a 1v2 situation, actually 1v3 for Relic. Sees one cross, but doesn't know that this guy's close.
Yeah, Relic is really a hard angle there to try to hold. Mossman dies on that P2, trying to kind of jump ahead of the game. Mossman getting taken down again. And really, Farmingdale is firing on all cylinders right now. The full control going in favor of Farmingdale on P2. Shenandoah needs to find an angle to try to penetrate this defense, but all 4 members are set up beautifully for a P2 defense for Farmingdale.
It's a 3v3 now, 2v3 situation for Shenandoah. Relic does get a huge trade, putting it in a 2v2 situation, but they're going to just try and roll for this new. They need to have some decent map control if they're going to get some points on the board.
Yeah, it's a close game so far. P2 is in full control of by Farmingdale, 72-13 now in favor of Farmingdale on this hard point. The gunfights are really going in Farmingdale's favor. Shenandoah not really able to pick up a whole lot so far. And Steve-O trying to do what he can, but is unable to do so. Gets a trade back. Toxic trying to win a gunfight, but Tez is just that much better in that moment right there. And Farmingdale has full control so far over the maps. The Chows are going in Farmingdale's favor.
Mossman gets 2, almost gets a 3rd. As Steve-O's going to be pushing up, trying to get the trades, and they're going to be getting some time here. Steve-O trying to set up, just playing super aggressive. Doesn't get that pick, as CDL does get that pick, and Tez also gets another onto Relic. Toxic really needs to go big here on this hill. Doesn't get one, but can he get out with his life? They're just going to be trying to play for this new off the spawn here.
Yeah, kind of pulling back. Not really a good Chow coming through from Shenandoah. Farmingdale really just with a good defense here, trying to pull back. Really 8 seconds left on this hard point. Going to try to play for time here, get first move on P4, and really try to make something happen and regain some time that they lost on P3.
Yeah, and CDL does get a massive pick on a Mossman, but Stevo really needs to go big here. Doesn't get the kill, as now Farmingdale does have control of this P4, and Farmingdale are playing lights out right now.
Yeah, Farmingdale firing on all cylinders. The momentum is all in their favor. Toxic and Mossman, however, will get to the challenge coming through. Tez trying to make something happen. He runs out and gets lit up, unable to get a take back or an exchange there. Mossman winning the gunfight and really able to maintain control of this point. But now Farmingdale fighting back, get 3. Relic, the last one alive on the point. CDL Pubstar trying to make something happen. Contest on the site, and he will win the gunfight. Control back in Farmingdale's favor.
And now we have Stevo in a 1v1 situation. Does get that pick, and this is going to be a huge 60 hill. If they can get this 60, they're going to be pretty close to tied in this series here.
Yeah, they have first move here for Shenandoah University, trying to set up a good defense. Toxic, however, trying to make it back, but unable to do so. Mossman on respawn is on a flank, but CDL Pubstar is there trying to find the trace, but Mossman is going to take 3 down by himself. Mossman really saving the day there for Shenandoah, keeping the control of the point in their favor and really able to close the gap here. Now only about 50-point differential for Shenandoah on this hard point.
Stevo has a beautiful angle, just really setting up, lurking, making sure that nobody crosses. Toxic does go down. Stevo could potentially get two big kills here. Doesn't get that, but they're going to be just setting up for new. There's 20 seconds left. Everyone that's just spawned, they're going to be playing for this new.
Yeah, back and forth action here. Farmingdale coming out on top in a lot of the extended trades here, really having good point control. But right now, Relic trying to make something happen. Gets one, but is dropped immediately by Tez. And really, Shenandoah is back and forth gunfights. Mossman will fall, but Stevo was going to find the trade back. Even gunfights happening across the map, but Farmingdale is just really getting the angles and the rotations just that much faster than Shenandoah right now.
Yeah, and CDL is really playing lights out. I mean, getting those massive picks. Oh, Stevo gets 2 big ones. Doesn't get a third. As Mossman gets 1, doesn't get the last though. But they're still contesting time. This is big. Relic does get that pick, and they're just getting traded out. Tez with a huge 2-piece, clearing it out. They're just setting up new now.
Yeah, back and forth exchange there. Really good contests coming through Shenandoah, but unable to capitalize on it as Stevo finds Spadez there. And really, Stevo is picking up the pace. 14 kills, 13 deaths. However, they are unable to find the point. Point 1, good defense coming through from Farmingdale again, but they're just going to set up on this P2, this money hill, trying to make something happen, seeing if they can hold this point and get back a lot of ground.
Yeah, Relic really playing in a nice position here. Is getting naded out though, trying to just really play his life, and they know now that he's in this cubby area. Euro does get picked off by Relic, and they're starting to push through this tunnel. Spades gets Relic, trying to push out. Toxic playing on the bottom of the hill. Gets 1 big pick. CDL, though, gets Stevo. And now we have Toxic. Oh, in a 1v1, loses that. CDL gets 3 massive picks. And now there's 30 seconds on this hill. Relic doesn't get the trade. And now they just have time.
Yeah, Farmdale's chow through tunnel there was really picture perfect, being able to win those gunfights and get control over P2. Farmingdale, excuse me, is really set up beautifully for this point. Shenandoah really just trying to find gunfights and set up onto P3, but unable to do so as CDL Pubstar is just really rolling through them and not losing fights. Stevo will take him down, however Toxic gets Tez and are able to control P3. Farmingdale now needs to move into Shenandoah.
Oh, and Toxic does go down. That would have been a nasty rat spot as Stevo does go down as well. It's a 2v4 situation, or 2v3 situation, sorry, on hill. Does get the trades as Tez is getting massive picks here. Toxic needs to get at least 2 here to clear it. Doesn't clear it. And there's 30 seconds left on this hill.
Yeah, Farmingdale, all 3 swinging out of that door at the same time, really surprising Shenandoah on the challenge on P3 here. Relic trying to make something happen, does not see Tez. Tez in the corner will take down Relic. And again, will take down Toxic as well. Tez really playing lights out, 24 and 14 now for the KD for Tez. The chow coming through from Stevo, trying to make sure that the point total does not tick up any more than it already has. And now we're going to move over to P4 to see if they can contest and keep this game alive.
And CDL read that Steve was trying to go on a route, and now there's only 25 seconds left on this hill, and Farmingdale could win off of this hill.
Yeah, Farmingdale is really just playing lights out Call of Duty right now. Full control over this hill.
Oh, Steve-O with the
Steve-O
huge.
trying to make something happen. Gets 2. Euro will find the response. But Farmingdale, again, with the defense setup, will take map 1.
Yeah, Farmingdale really played that picture perfect there in the beginning, just hot out of the gate. Again, this is what we were talking about. The cohesion is something that's super important, and we saw that. Just like you mentioned, they tried to break out, they chowed, and they got the trades where they needed to, and especially in that second rotation, getting that break on P2 hill is actually massive, because if it's really hard to break first off, right? So if you can get the time where you can, great. Shenandoah had that control early on. But then they broke that because they pushed through tunnel, just like you said, got the trades where needed, and they played that beautifully. I mean, Shenandoah started to pick back up a little bit after that P5, that first P5 hill, but ever since then, I mean, Farmingdale really just had the reins.
Yeah, Farmingdale, impressive stuff being able to break that P2. That's usually a point that almost whoever gets first touch on that point is usually able to hold that through the entire duration of the point. But Farmingdale really coming out guns a-blazing, and Shenandoah wasn't able to really win gunfights. Some trades here and there, but Farmingdale just a step ahead of the rotations and the movements that Shenandoah was trying to go through during that hard point.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, another factor could potentially be nerves, right? I mean, they're amped up, getting ready to play. Maybe they're a little too hype, right? You know, try and control the emotions a little bit. I mean, again, they started to really get back into form towards that middle part of the game. I mean, Tez was playing lights out the entire series. I mean, he dropped close to 30 kills. It was phenomenal stuff on Farmingdale. I mean, both sides actually played that pretty well. But Farmingdale able to get those trades where necessary. And having that map control like we were talking about, I mean, they had so much control, especially like 30 seconds on a current hill. Like, they were playing for new for 30 seconds, like 30 seconds in. I mean, it was phenomenal to see. Yeah,
Tez really just playing lights out during map 1 there. Shenandoah wasn't really able to track his movements. Tez was really just in spots that they didn't really expect, and really the angles that Tez was holding were just really good. There wasn't much you could really do unless you can really try to pinch Tez, but the other members on Farmingdale were covering Tez's back and winning gunfights of their own. But like you said, Shenandoah started to pick up towards the end of that map 1, and really, if this is what the whole series is going to be like, this is going to be pretty close. That's what I'm saying. I mean, let's look at it. Tez dropping 26 kills. I mean, then we have Spades and CDL both dropping 20. I mean, these KDs are pretty average, you know, throughout their team. Outside of Tez, again, he was playing lights out. And then we have Shenandoah. I mean, I believe that Steve-O was playing really well, you know, and the rest of the members of Shenandoah were getting a little bit unlucky. You know, again, the timing was just a little bit off there. This is a much faster-paced team that knows how and when to take control of certain moments, right? So having that understanding, I believe, is why Farmingdale, you know, won this map out. Yeah, and like you said, a fast-paced team, right? Shenandoah likes to play fast as well, but sometimes speed isn't key, right? If you can slow the map down and the play down and really kind of be able to control movements around the map together, moving as one, that can really mean the difference. Sometimes playing slow is better than playing fast. If you're able to really hold those angles and find them at the right times, that can be the difference between losing a P2 like they did on that tunnel, or really holding it and really breaking the game open and really starting to tie things up. Exactly. I mean, be the tortoise, my friend. You know, exactly. Play it slow, and the rewards will come. But our map 2 is going to be Invasion, Search, and Destroy, and then next we have Invasion Control. So we're going to be seeing the same map pool again in these next 2. Invasion, Search. I mean, again, they were playing lights out on that first series of Invasion. Toxic really showing who's the real deal in this search. And now going up against a pretty solid team, you know, again, also just lost a map. Right.
What do you think is going on in their minds right now?
I think they're just trying to stay calm, right? They know they're coming in. It's a best-of-5 series, right? Map 1, kind of feeling out play styles, right? Search and destroy is something that they've been good at in previous seasons, and really being able to kind of keep the head clear and in a stable place, you know, trusting your teammates, being like, hey, it's all right, map 2, best-of-5, see if we can bring it back and tie up this series.
Exactly. I think everybody's headspace on the Shenandoah team is actually fine. You know, they know when to just completely move on from whatever just happened, right? And that's something that's really hard for teams to do, especially when going up against a team, you know, at a high caliber level. I mean, it feels so hard at times to really get the ball rolling, and maybe that's what's happening at the moment, right? It's hard to find, you know, what we can do to get that ball rolling, but once they find that, they're going to use that momentum and carry it throughout the rest of the series. So hopefully we get to see some closer games, especially in the search and destroy.
Yeah, and still Hardpoint wasn't that far off either. It was still a very close map 1 here coming through from both sides. And you saw how fast it went. I'd expect it to be a little bit slower just given the kind of map. The map and the game mode that they're playing, Search and Destroy, is more kind of calm, cool, collected. You know, you only have 1 life, so if you go in and you blow it, you're done for the round. So really being able to trust your teammates in Search and Destroy is something that really is going to come in huge here for both sides, knowing that someone's going to win a gunfight and be able to play off of that and be able to get to positions faster than the opposing team will really be able to separate the teams here, as we are going to jump right in to Search and Destroy Invasion.
And we see Spades getting super aggressive into Broken. Euro does get his pick, as there is a trade. Relic does get that pick, but we see Spades getting the pick onto Relic and making it a 2v3 situation for Shenandoah.
Yeah, and we can see let's see here, Shenandoah down a member here against Farmingdale. Really, they're holding the right angles, right? We can see Toxic moving around the map very steadily, but Mossman and Toxic might be able to pinch Tez here, but Tez recognizes it and falls back to A site. They aren't able to really puncture the defense that Farmingdale really has set up right now. Yeah,
this is actually really beautiful defense, and they know that bomb is down towards Broken. That's why Spades is playing for this control here, and we see the person on A bomb, Tez, is going to be looking towards Dark as well, just to get some sort of info, and there it is. They count him out. Toxic, though, getting a massive pick, but they know that bomb is down towards Broken. They have to go be aggressive towards there, or else they're going to lose this round. And again, there's only 6 seconds left. It's really hard to get the bomb down or kill everyone else on this team.
Yeah, Mossman goes for the bomb, but Spades is there to hold the angle. Shenandoah will not win the fight. Apologies, I guess the HUD kind of tricked me there a little bit. Farmingdale will get the win here on round number 1. Mossman trying to get to the bomb, but unable to do so. Spades just in a perfect position. He has the bomb, and really perfectly played.
Yeah, I mean, Spades getting into that top Broken area early is super crucial. I mean, you have so much awareness and so much information, and yeah, it may not be a big lane, right? But it's an important lane that you could hold, because there's a lot of rotations that go through there. And as we see Shenandoah now on the defense, Toxic playing this heady, as Relic is close to potentially getting 1, but there might be a trade out. Oh, and he gets out with his life, but so does Relic as well.
Yeah, really playing safe and slow here for this second round. Relic unable to escape with his life, but no trade back coming through from Shenandoah. 3v4 now. Farmingdale trying to make something happen. Stevo is going to find 1 and be able to retreat with his life. All tied up now, 3v3. Shenandoah finding that pick is huge.
And they planted the bomb. Euro gets that pick. Steve does also get the pick onto Spades as Euro cleans it up. And Stevo does get Euro. Now a 1v1 situation. Stevo is going to try and clear out whatever he can. Sees him, identifies it. Tez is just trying to stay alive. They know that bomb is planted, and Stevo gets a massive pick. and they bring it back to 1-1 even.
Yeah, Steve-O not playing scared there. He knows where Tez is setting up to defend this bomb, and it pushes forwards through that site and is able to pick up the kill. A huge win there for Shenandoah, tying it up 1-1. A momentum swing and a morale boost for Shenandoah in that second round.
Exactly. And again, defense is something that's of course favorable for search and destroy, especially in Call of Duty, right? Being able to have the lanes under control, not having to worry about pushing into, enemy territory, but that's the nature of it, right? So being able to figure out the cracks and crevices of a defense is something that Shenandoah is going to have to do in this round, as Farmingdale is looking to set up again pretty spaced out.
Yeah, keep your eyes on Steve-O. 4-1 here, trying to pick off Euro on the rotation through mid there, but really unable to do so. Shenandoah, no kills are being traded back and forth. Gunfights here and there, but no one is dropping on either side.
Yeah, Spades again. Oh, gives up the control, but is going to be running into the nest of Shenandoah as Mossman gets that huge trade, making a 3v3. They might just need to take this towards A. Oh, but they have CDL all the way in their spawn, so they're really trying to just funnel them towards B.
Yeah, Relic able to pick up the kill there against, who was that? Euro, I believe, is who he killed there. Relic now planting the bomb over on B site, and really a perfect execution. Man advantage now for Shenandoah University. Now to set up these angles, Trophy is down, and really gunfights are now important, but CDL Pubstar is able to get the drop onto Moss. Almost traded back 83 HP for CDL Pubstar, able to stay alive 2v2.
Now they're getting pinched, and they're just in a corner right now. Toxic really trying to play his life as Relic is just staying down, seeing if anybody's crossing. Notices that Tez is trying to chow, and a beautiful 1v1 situation for both of them, as now it's 2-1. That was a huge round for Shenandoah.
Yeah, Toxic there in the perfect position to see Tez coming right around that corner. And really, Relic and Tez both laying prone there in two opposite corners of the site. It's hard to really challenge a site defense like that.
Exactly. And now we're on defense. We just need to play the way we know how to play. Just hold our lanes, get some information, and then play off of that. We want to try and just understand what they're doing so we can react, right? That's, again, the nature of search and destroy.
Yeah, I guess a nice split fanning out. Mossman is going to take an instant trade onto Spades and is going to win the gunfight there. A pick, really, across the map. Tez as well, firefight with Steve-O, able to escape with his life, but Steve-O really playing well there. Relic will die in the meantime. Euro will find the pick there, evening out the score, or the lives rather, 3 apiece.
And they're setting up a little bit more towards this B side as Toxic is just holding, Olive River, making sure that nobody gets onto that A bomb. And we see Mossman taking control of this mid, does identify that there's people. Now they're starting to spread out. Bomb is going towards the A, and Toxic, I believe, sees this. Steve-O getting aggressive here. Gets 1. Does he get 2? Toxic picks up that second. Now we're looking for a third. And Steve-O! Huge picks, bringing it to 3-1.
Steve-O,
4-1?
I believe this is 3-1 now in favor of Shenandoah on the scoreline. But Steve-O reads them like a book, knows where they're setting up, and is able to just push forward, playing that aggression that he showed in the last series, winning gunfights, picking up 2, Toxic picking up the 3rd there in that fight. And Shenandoah firing on all cylinders right now.
100%. And unfortunately, Tez is not doing too hot right now in the Search and Destroy, as he's going 0-4. Let's see if he can try and pick something back up to try and get this series a little bit closer.
Yeah, Steve-O pushing in already towards B site. All 4 members going towards that B site. Mid approach now coming out of Farmingdale. They're holding that angle though. Mossman has that sight line and is holding that for Shenandoah, trying to get a pick, unable to do so. Steve-O in trouble, able to escape, however. The pinch coming through from Farmingdale is unsuccessful, but really, it's not that bad. All members on both sides are still alive. Firefights just barely getting missed. Euro now pinned behind B, but Relic will get aggressive and will be dropped there by Spades.
Yeah, and there's going to be a pinch coming in. Stevo reads that, almost gets 2, but there's another pinch coming in by Spades. I don't think they know about this. Stevo getting a huge pick as Mossman also gets a pick in a 2v1 situation. Stevo and Mossman butting it up. They're going A. They're going A. They know it. They know that he's playing on B. Oh, and I love this play out of Mossman. I love this play. He's ratting in courtyard, just holding for this push. He sees Stevo, and he's, yep, there it is. Mossman, clinical stuff from the boys from Shenandoah.
A perfect call there to rotate over to A site. They know that Euro is holding that B site behind that the box there in the middle of that site, and Mossman just sits there mid and just kind of just waits patiently. He knows that Euro needs to come through that alleyway, and really perfect execution from Shenandoah.
I mean, that's also a really tough situation to be in that 1v2, right? I mean, if you're going through dark, which is where he just came from, I mean, that's a very narrow, you know, path to take. And
right.
Yes, it might be the shortest and quickest, but, you know, that just netted Mossman a free kill.
Yeah, and again, Shenandoah kind of doing the same kind of thing, spreading out around. Mossman has the flank and will find Spades, but Tez and Spades will pick up 2 of their own, 2v3 in favor of Farmingdale. Nade coming out, trying to find Tez, but the flank from Stevo, able to take down Tez. The spray and pray coming through, huge for Stevo, evening up the scoreline 2v2. Rotations coming through, the bomb now looking towards A.
Yeah, and the bomb's going to be planted, I believe, towards A. Mossman, I think, sees it. Yup, they see it. Mossman is getting aggressive, trying to just keep him off of this bomb. But Euro is on that A bomb as Stevo flanks, gets 1 huge pick, is scared for the flank. Chalium and Steve! Oh my gosh. Absolutely just crushing the competition right now and getting loud.
Yeah, Stevo feeling himself right now. A huge flank coming through there, picking up both members. Mossman holding that angle mid, really putting the pressure on, keeping the attention on him, and Stevo recognizes that, sees the opportunity, and strikes, picking up 2, taking a commanding 5-1 lead for SU.
And this is the thing I was talking about, right? Being able to understand how a team plays defensively is how you're going to be winning these search and destroys, because at the end of the day, you know, teams will win those defensive rounds, but it's those attacking rounds that you really need to win, and Stevo is playing lights out, and he's calling his crews. They're getting all the information in the world. This cruise could potentially hit somebody, maybe nobody. Unlucky, but Relic does get that pick on a Tez. Unfortunately, Spades also gets a massive 2. Now it's a 2v3 situation. Stevo trying to just get this pick up. They have bomb. Oh my gosh, Stevo. He's in another planet right now. And now it's all down to Mossman. 1v2 situation. Mossman.
1v1.
Oh,
now
wait, 1v1.
Mossman finding the angle, looking the wrong direction, however. CDL Pupstar is behind him, stays alive, is able to get into the building to safety, has the bomb with him, and really, this 1v1 situation, this is deathmatch right now.
Goodness. Oh my god, they're going to meet. They're going to meet. Wait, they're not going to meet. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. And the beauty of it is they don't know where they are. 27 seconds.
Mossman hunting, trying to find CDL Pupstar, unable to do so. Mossman making his way back towards A. Pupstar, however, is now kind of getting that read and is rotating back himself. Moss unable to find him and win the firefight. Close round number 7 there coming through from both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I thought it was a 1v2. Everything was going down, and then I just saw Mossman. I thought he was going to be going crazy, but yeah, it was a 1v1. Still super difficult situation to be in. You know, not knowing where this last person is really just messes with your mental. Trying to gets in your head. He was trying to debate whether or not to go B or A, and honestly, I feel like if he committed a little bit more sooner, right, the bomb maybe would have been down a little bit faster. But that's in the past. We're now 5-2 going into this on defense. We love our defenses. And
Shenandoah's defense has been looking solid through the search and destroy, trying to find something. Relic is jumped on by Spades. Trades coming across the board. 2v2. Mossman holding the angle. Will flick back and will take the victory for Shenandoah in map number 2.
Mossman going huge for the team, getting that pick. and Shenandoah bring it back in the series 1-1.
And this is kind of what we expected, right? The hard point not going in favor of Shenandoah, but the search and destroy. Steve-O, unreal during map number 2.
I absolutely agree. I mean, what more could you ask from basically your star player?
Right.
Right? Like, he's trying to make the plays, trying to calm, but at the same time, he's trying to also get these kills where he can, and he's showcased that. And then we have other guys like Toxic really holding down lanes, you know, asserting that pressure, and Relic also being able to just float around the map, trying to figure out different angles, different ways to, you know, assert dominance around the map. And just like that, a clinical 6-2.
Yeah, and that's that pressure we talked about earlier, right, for search and destroy. Even if you're at a man disadvantage, the fact that they don't know where you are, and even in that 2v2 situation, they're pushing in towards that A site but are unable to really capitalize on everything. This is Steve-O. I mean, come on, you could not watch something more clean than what Steve-O did in map number 2.
I completely agree. And this is, again, beautiful plays. Relic getting those picks where he needed to. Again, securing these rounds, making sure that there's zero chance Steve-O again. And this is where, you know, aggression starts to come back into this conversation, right? Because it's good to have, you know, the patience, but it's also good to, you know, push the tempo a little bit. And we saw that a lot in this search and destroy, and hopefully we can see the same thing going into the next map.
Yeah, having the momentum in your favor really just puts that aggression to a whole another level. Steve-O was playing phenomenally during map number 2, and he decided that he's going to take these aggressive approaches to these holds and to these attacks and pushes through map number 2 here on Invasion. And really, when you're feeling yourself that much, like, you just got to go with your gut and just say, I'm going to take care of business, and that's exactly what he did.
Exactly. He's currently standing on his business. I mean, phenomenal performance again by Shenandoah, bringing it back into the 1-1 series. This is kind of what I was talking about. Again, I felt like they were, you know, Farmingdale was going to be winning that map 1, you know. They're confident, and then that confidence might supersede, you know, how well they're actually going to be playing. Because, again, maybe they're undermining Shenandoah's ability. Who knows, right? But, again, Shenandoah is really picking up that tempo. Shenandoah is really making these plays where they need to. And let's look at some stats. I mean, again, Steve-O dropping 13 and 3 deaths. Like, how do you not just applaud that?
You have to, right? 13, 3, and 3 for the KDA there for Steve-O in map number 2. A 6-2 victory for Shenandoah University. But even still, 13 kills, 4 are picked up by Toxic and Relic alike, and Mossman taking 8 for himself as well. It's not just Steve-O, right?
Exactly.
These other members are holding these angles. Even if they're not dropping 13 kills in Search and Destroy, they're still finding these good picks and these trades, allowing for Steve-O to really find that angle and really be able to maneuver around the map, because he knows with the communication from the teams where these people are going to be.
Exactly. And again, like you said, not about the kills. We just need to know how we can get the important ones. Right. And again, search and destroy is very ebb and flow based, right? Trying to figure out where teams are positioned, trying to figure out how we want to aggress, where we need to back off a little bit. And Shenandoah displayed that perfectly. Now, we're going into control. We saw a lights out performance by Steve-O in that first series. Do you think Steve-O will be able to bring that out here in the second series?
I mean, based on the search and destroy in map number 2, I would think that Steve-O is going to keep up the same momentum and the same aggression that he had coming into map number 3 here against Farmingdale. But still, Farmingdale, Tez wasn't really able to come online in map number 2 there. Maybe control is going to be a little bit different if Tez comes back online and is really able to challenge Steve-O in these firefights. This could really go either way again. It's really determining whether these star players and the seeming leaders of these teams will really come up and step up and play to the best of their ability.
Exactly. And again, we want to see also, you know, some teammates rising up, right? We want to see Toxic getting hot again. We want to see Relic getting hot again, because that's what we need to beat a team like Farmingdale. Farmingdale. I mean, again, Farmingdale had a lights out hard point, right? They played that beautifully. and this is another respawn for him. And a lot of teams like to play and practice in these respawn modes, right? Because that's what you're going to be playing in a series like this.
Right.
And sometimes search and destroy could be a little bit, luck, right? Sometimes the timing is off. Sometimes you get really great timing, but other times, right, you have to understand spawns. You have to understand how you want to play these maps, and we are about to get into that control as Shenandoah are on the defense. This is what we want.
Yeah, all members going over to A right now. Steve-O will already drop. Unable to, 2 will drop already, but 2 taken in favor of Shenandoah as well. Now the challenge coming through from Mossman. Spades is going to be able to win the firefight, but CDL Pupstar is going to be taken down by Toxic. In the meantime, Steve-O trying to get the flank, the nade coming through. Now trying to pinch onto A to stop the cap, and they are able to do so. Spades will drop to Relic,
That was massive.
and now Shenandoah has full control over the A site.
That was massive, but now Farmingdale, as you see, are set up on this B side as CDL does get a pick, and Carbonize also gets 2 right there, now putting it in a 2v4 situation. CDL gets a second as Relic is just trying to set up, maybe play a little bit in a more positional spot, and Relic does get one and is just going to stay in courtyard as Tez gets Toxic.
Yeah, trades back and forth, 1 life differential. Now tied, 23 lives apiece. Relic trying to make something happen against CDL Pupstar, unable to do so. CDL Pupstar winning the firefight there, but Toxic on the flank trying to make something happen, unable to do so so far. Really back and forth fights all around. 1 point already capped for Farmingdale.
Toxic and Mossman going big here as they are spawning towards this ice cream area, as you see on the minimap. 1, 2, and 4 pushing up towards B, getting a pick. Spades onto Toxic as Relic does get 1. Trade that. Relic almost gets a second, but Spades good for 2 as we see Mossman trying to just keep control of this, but we see Farmingdale really trying to push for this street control.
Yeah, Steve-O really good moving around the map. However, the firefight against Toxic there, Spades able to take him out. Mossman finding the answer back, as well as Steve-O dropping 2 apiece. Carbonize will take Steve-O out again. Spades again taking down Toxic. Really the back and forth fights. This is a completely even control point.
Yeah, I mean, the lives are still fairly even. I mean, yes, they're up 2 lives Farmingdale, but Toxic does see this, gets a massive pick, and he's going to be spawning out. There's 2 on this A point, and they do get a tick, but they just need a flood. They need to clear these guys out and start flooding, but Carbonize and Tez get 2 massive picks. Mossman is not able to get that pick.
Yeah, the trophy being set up. Spades and Carbonize in a great position to be able to hold this fight. Spades will fall in the meantime, but Farmingdale is going to take the first round.
And we just saw some bodies being shot. Oh, that's a little bit disrespectful coming from Farmingdale. But, again, that's a massive round win for Farmingdale as they're going into a defense.
Yeah, Farmingdale taking the first round there in the control point. Really, the sub out, we see Carbonize now. Euro is out for Carbonize, and really that's kind of the difference maker right now. Carbonize picking up 6 kills on his own, really able to separate Farmingdale so far in that first round from Shenandoah.
Yeah, and we're seeing Shenandoah try and come into this A point. Almost gets the trophy down. Relic needs to go massive here. Mossman gets 1. Relic does go down by Spades, but here we go. Mossman is not able to get it. Toxic, though, does get Tez, and unfortunately, CDL does get that pick. Now, Farmingdale is looking to be aggressive. They're going to try and rotate towards this B side as they know that Shenandoah is going to be taking the B.
Yeah, right now, this B site is in full control by Shenandoah. Unable to get the trade, however, Tez takes out Steve-O. Toxic getting Spades. Relic has eyes on Tez, but is unable to find him. Rotating now, trying to stop the reinforcements coming from Carbonize, and will be able to do so. Relic takes him down through the boxes there, and will almost take down Tez as well. Knows where he is, but it gets flanked by Spades. Mossman trying to hold the angle. Steve-O takes out Spades in the meantime.
Stay alive.
Really back and forth gameplay. B trying to get that final cap, and it looks like they will be able to do so. And already on A is Toxic, able to get trophy down and trying to hold this point for Shenandoah to come back with reinforcements.
Huge! Toxic getting massive picks, and now they just need a flood site.
Yeah, right now it's what, a 2v2 situation kind of on the site here. Stevo and Mossman playing out of their mind towards the second half of this round.
And
they will get 2 caps. Shenandoah ties it up 1 apiece.
Yeah, Toxic went absolutely massive on that hill. I mean, being able to get those 2 picks really solidified the rest of the Shenandoah roster to come and help from the back.
Yep.
And being able to get those entry picks when needed, or even just get some, or, you know, a little bit of damage so that the people on the hill or on the site are able to just finish them off.
Yeah, being able to cap that B site the way they did, and Toxic really, this is where the trust comes into play. He trusted his teammates to cap B site and was already on top of the rotation to A, having the trophy down, and really able to hold that in almost a 1v3 situation, waiting for the rest of his teammates to reach him.
Oh, Carbonize and Tez do get 2 picks here, as we do see Carbonize trying to play for this mid. Do we get it? And Carbonize just beats down Toxic as they're trying to get this A site fast.
Yeah, 3 members already on this A site for Farmingdale. Looks like they're going to be able to cap it almost immediately. Mossman swinging the wrong way. Stevo will pick up Carbonize, but Tez and CDL Pubstar will pick up picks of their own, and Stevo takes down Tez yet again. Stevo taking down CDL Pubstar as well, and really the hold is now on to B. If they can keep B from getting capped, this could be a huge for Shenandoah.
It's a 3v3 right now, and this is going to be huge. Mossman does get a massive pick there, and now he's just trying to take control. Toxic and Relic also get one of their own. Now they can be a little bit aggressive, as we see Carbonize trying to slip by, but Stevo catches him off guard, and here's where we get aggressive, baby. We're starting to hold him in spawns. Mossman on this P2 tank, trying to just keep him at bay, and we have Relic in mid. Mossman just ripping him off a heady. Stevo also getting a big pick. Relic, it's just all going down from here.
Yeah, Shenandoah firing on all cylinders, sitting at this spawn, but Mossman will fall at P2 tank. Carbonize gets the kill, but no trade is going to come back from Shenandoah. Toxic is retreating, but the flank here from its Stevo won't be able to catch anybody, but is going to come behind Farmingdale. Carbonize will drop. No one knows where Stevo is. Right now, Spades and CDL Pubstar just seem lost. They don't know where Shenandoah is holding angles, and Relic, Stevo, Mossman, and Toxic are able to pick them off 1 by 1.
Spades, though, does get a massive pick on the Toxic. Going into DVD, huge kill here on a Relic. Stevo doesn't get that pick. Now they're starting to push up. Relic needs to go massive here. He's going to be getting pinched, though. Is he going to read this? He doesn't read it. CDL, massive pick. Now Farmingdale has full control, and now they need to try and push as aggressive as they can because Relic is down. Carbonize gets a massive 2, and they're just starting to get time, and there's a 3rd from Carbonize.
Yeah, Carbonize with a good push there onto B site. Relic and Mossman trying to make something happen. Shenandoah full respawns. They get an easy pick, but Carbonize and CDL Pubstar will take down 3 combined. Stevo trying to make something happen, takes 1 down, but the cap is going to come through, and Farmingdale will take round number 3.
That was really close. I mean, Shenandoah really started to get the gears going when they were just keeping them at bay in their spawn. But then people tend to slip by, and I believe it was Spades who got through, got a massive pick, and then it was able to pinch, and that's really what I believe solidified that. And then Carbonize, as we saw in that end there, just cleaning up those kills.
Yeah, Carbonize getting a huge 2K against Shenandoah there. Stevo really getting caught out in a rotation, unable to get trades back, and that really sealed the deal there for round number 3. But now Shenandoah trying to answer back. This is what happened last time. Good aggression coming through from Shenandoah, holding these angles, moving up through mid is Stevo, and he'll find a quick pick on the CDL Pubstar, and really that's kind of what they need. Toxic finds one again. Tez will win the gun fight against Stevo, but they're going to move over to A. Toxic setting up just like he did last time.
I love this out of Toxic. Unfortunately, Challenge out of time, though, does go down, but we see Relic, we got a cap, and we're getting 2 now. That's a huge second tick, and he wins that gunfight. Hopefully they can get this 3rd before they even think about contesting this time, and they do. Now they have a ton of lives they can play with, and they need to get these big picks.
Yeah, they are able to cap B site, trying to move over to A. Toxic can hear him, but is unable to win the gunfight. Tez takes out 2, but Mossman answers back with spades. Pubstar will find 2 of his own. However, Relic and Mossman fighting in the meantime. And really, back and forth gunfights. They need to find control onto A. It's Stevo, takes down 1. Chasing Spades, will be unable to take him out. Spades winning the gunfight there. Mossman trying to look over P2, but really unable to find any ground.
And now Farmingdale is putting them in a spawn trap, as we see Carbonize really just holding them at bay, getting a big information. And Relic trying to push out, gets a massive pick with the sub onto that A bomb. Stevo also getting another pick here, getting a good trade. Now they're spawning out towards gas, but we still have Carbonize holding their spawn.
Yeah, Mossman unable, able to find a pick, but Relic unable to get the gunfight against Tez in his favor. Carbonize also finding 1 of his own. Now over onto A side it's Stevo, but CDL Pubstar will be able to find the pick. Shenandoah not able to get there fast enough to support Stevo in these gunfights.
I mean, they are just getting held right now by Carbonize. I mean, yeah, he may not be getting the craziest amount of kills at the moment, but he's certainly just asserting dominance. But he does go down by Stevo, and Spades picks up Relic. Stevo almost gets him off of that fire truck. CDL, but goes down.
Yeah, Farmingdale doing a good job at tracking the movement of Shenandoah, knowing where they're going to come. Mossman, however, will find 2. This might be the play and the push that Shenandoah was looking for, but does not check the corners and gets taken out. Relic falls shortly after. Carbonize finding 2 quick back picks there. 20 seconds left on the timer. If anything is going to happen, Shenandoah needs to make it happen right now.
Yeah, there's 15 seconds left. They just need to fly towards time. Toxic trying to move, goes down, and I believe that is it. Oh, wait, Relic has an opportunity. Oh, it's a slim one though, and he goes down. And that's going to be map 3 for Farmingdale.
Yeah, an incredibly close map 3. 3-1 is the scoreline, but it didn't really feel like a 3-1. It seemed pretty even throughout all of map 3 there. And Shenandoah, really, the sub with Carbonize coming in here has been really what Farmingdale needed to have happen, as they were able to find a really good map there. But Shenandoah played well as well. Stevo finding good picks, Toxic holding great angles. If they keep up that momentum of that round that they won there, this 4th map, I believe it was another hard point, was it?
Yep, and that's going to be sub base.
Yeah, sub base hard point. It could be a map 5.
Yeah, and subbase is notorious for power positions. So power position, for those who may not know, you have control of a certain point in the map. You basically have a lot of control and firepower to provide, for the entire map. And in hardpoint, it's super important to get those power positions, because if not, that's going to be netting a ton of free people to get through, or just a ton of picks that shouldn't be really allowed, right?
Yeah.
So Farmingdale being up in the series 2-1, and also having won that initial hardpoint map on Skid Row, they're coming into this pretty confident.
Yeah, Farmingdale playing a good last map there. Map number 3 going in their favor on control there on Invasion. But Shenandoah looking to bounce back again in hardpoint. They lost the hardpoint earlier on Skid Row, but that was a very close affair there. And really, with a new map, that might be what they need for that hardpoint game mode to really bring this back and force the Game 5 against Farmingdale.
Exactly. And this is something where Shenandoah needs to try to focus on and, really make sure that, yes, they might be down in the series, but it's not over until it's over.
Exactly.
Right? Yep. There's always an opportunity for a reverse.
Yeah.
And we might be seeing one here today.
Yeah, really, given how close map 3 was, I could easily see this hardpoint going in Shenandoah's favor. Of course, they would like to have that map 3 back. They were playing very well, especially after they tied up that series 1 apiece. And you can see Carbonize and Tez and everyone really putting up really good numbers, but the deaths, again, are kind of similar as well.
Yeah.
Both sides are getting a lot of kills, but also having a decent amount of deaths on their side. So there are trades coming across the board. It's really a matter of being able to capitalize off of one trade and really start to snowball that into something more than just a 2-for-2 and a 1-for-1.
Exactly. Being able to have the the uniformity in stats is something massive, right? Again, we're looking at these KDs, we're looking at the kills and deaths. I mean, it's all fairly even on on the side of Farmingdale, and they played that beautifully. They realized that they were in a spawn trap, had to regroup, and then they pushed out when they needed to, and that's actually, I believe, what won them that map. But we got 2 maps left, right? We have a potential 2 maps left. We have Subbase Hardpoint, which is for sure. And then we have a Skid Row Search and Destroy, which it's up to Shenandoah whether or not they want it.
Right. And given map 2, the 6-2 victory for that Search and Destroy, if it goes to a game 5, you would almost think that the favor is in Shenandoah there with how they played that Search and Destroy.
Yeah.
But they have to win this hard point first on Subbase. And it's going to be a hard task, but if they can keep the mentals clean and clear and really trust each other in firefights and follow calls, then really it could go really either way here. It's kind of up in the air right now.
Exactly. And it's super vital for them to just stay focused, right?
Yep.
Making sure that, these losses aren't affecting them is what's going to carry them into this Subbase, right? So let's talk about Subbase for a little bit, right? I did mention that they have a ton of power positions, right? And some notable ones are, one and above P2, which we'll see soon. But there's going to be a lot of control for high ground. There's a lot of elevation in this map, and they're going to try and play for that. For those who may be familiar with Call of Duty or competitive Call of Duty, recently Subbase hardpoint hills have changed. So P3 is no longer where it used to be. It's now in the back of the old P4 tunnel, and P4 is now where the old P3 was, but not on the sub, more so towards like the little maze area on one of the close to the tower. So it's a new layout for people trying to play sub base, trying to figure it out. Again, a lot of teams that I've seen, at least with experience, have good teams on this map have actually crumbled to lesser teams, right? And vice versa. Of course, we're going to see those good teams absolutely crush, even better teams just because they have those controls of the power positions.
Yeah, being able to, like you said, get control over these power positions is going to really make or break the game here, as we're going to hop into hardpoint on Subbase. And really, these first few firefights might kind of dictate the pace of how this hardpoint is going to go.
Exactly. Farmingdale already in an advantageous position, right? We see CDL already on top of that top third. Oh my gosh, Steve-O going big with the 2, and CDL again on that top third for that AC, as we like to call it. That's one of the big power positions. Mossman is also in another power position, but P1 is getting taken as Toxic is hitting the massive route to try and flip spawn, which is a big brain play. Toxic gets one, potentially can get a second, does get the second off the power position, and we see 3. Now we need to start pushing for this new. We do get time on this old hill, but they're spawning out. Oh, no, they're not spawning out. They're spawning close towards this P2 area. We need Relic to stay alive here and try and just play his life as we see him get a massive pick, and we're still tied up. Relic needs to win this. Oh, Relic wins that! And now it's a 2v1 on this new point, and we see Steve-O trying to push it out.
Yeah, and Shenandoah able to win those gunfights and getting some points onto P1 there. P2 now coming through in control for Shenandoah, but Farmingdale moving their way in, able to take control over that point. CDL Pupstar finding Mossman as they push through to that point, but it's Steve-O on the flank here, able to get CDL Pupstar. Toxic will take out Tez in the meantime. Steve-O, if he's able to find something under the stairs, but he does not know it. Spades, is there to get the kill. Toxic able to trade back, but trades back and forth. Toxic winning gunfights though, and now is able to take control, but CDL Pupstar is there to answer back and regain control for Farmingdale.
Exactly, and they're already playing for this new P3 that we were talking about. This is going to get super scrappy, but we already are set up in these positions to try and hold it as best as we can. And we see Relic get a massive pick. Carbonize does get Steve-O, and unfortunately a team kill by Relic. and Relic needs to go big here. Gets one, sees that one drops, but unfortunately gets picked. Toxic, though, in a massive position to get 2 here. Does he find one? Does he find the second one? He doesn't know where he is.
Tez able to find 2. Spades gets the answer. Toxic takes down Spades in the meantime. Has to fall back, though. Back to Relic. Tez will find a trophy, will come out from Toxic trying to hold this angle, but is unable to really get any grounds here. Farmingdale coming back. Tez will take out Stevo. CCL Pubstar also takes out Mossman. Toxic trying to trade back, but Relic will drop to Spades. Carbonize will take it again, and really trades across the board, but the point stays in Farmingdale's favor.
Now we're looking for Stevo, just getting a massive pick on this new, and they're going to be trying to spawn close. Oh no, Carbonize though does get the pick, and Farmingdale gets control of this new P4, and now Shenandoah has to row, but it's such a long rotation.
Yeah, it's Stevo kind of pulling up the back. Shenandoah moving in as one. Carbonize has a good angle, but is going to move back, and really it's going to be up to this fight. Relic, if he finds Carbonize here, he's not going to go for it. He's going to go the opposite direction. They don't know. Mossman will find the pick. Stevo will find CCL Pubstar. It's Stevo trying to find Spades, but the trade back is going to come through. Carbonize finds Relic, trades across the board, but Control coming through now. Mossman will find Carbonize, and Control will fall now to Shenandoah, but a trade coming back there from Tez onto Mossman. It's Stevo will find Spades. Tez finding Relic in the meantime, but Control still in Shenandoah's favor.
Now Farmingdale's already setting up new. I mean, they now have to cross the map again in order just to have a chance of staying in this game. You already see the entire team just playing for this new. Carbonize already up in a power position like we talked about, being able to oversee everything, and now he's playing a nice little route. Potentially he's going to net 2 kills. Tez and Carbonize do get their 1. Stevo spawning out, and this is not where we want to spawn if you're on the side of Shenandoah.
Yeah, Mossman kind of out on his lonesome, trying to find the pick against Spades, but unable to do so. Carbonize and Spades going crazy right now against Shenandoah University, able to hold this point really almost for its duration so far for Farmingdale. Shenandoah not able to get these trades and these picks that they are looking for. Carbonize still in that power position, finding Mossman, and really Shenandoah not able to answer back on this point.
And this is the thing I was talking about. If you can get these power positions, you basically control majority of this game. And there we go. Toxic now trying to flip that, trying to flip this script, and we have a whole second new rotation that's going to be coming in as Stevo does pick up 1, and we need to get some time here on this P1.
Yeah, Stevo getting the flank there onto Spades, trying to make something happen for Shenandoah. They have full access over this point, but Carbonize comes behind Stevo, and he will take 2. Relic losing the fight there. Mossman will take him out 2. However, trying to even up the scoreline. Spades trying to make something happen. Mossman almost finds Tez, but Tez will take down 2 instead of his own. Full control now to Farmingdale on this hard point.
Yeah, there's just about 25 seconds, and you're going to see Farmingdale try to row new, but we're seeing Shenandoah trying to hit this ult out, but this is going to be unfortunate because they might spawn out, and they start spawning out, but we do have 2 on this new hill. If they can get a big pick here, this is very salvageable for Shenandoah, and there's 1. Now we just need to find another.
Relic looking for CDL.
Oh my goodness, how is he alive?
It's Stevo able to pick up a kill there for Shenandoah, but Carbonize and Spades are going to answer back yet again. It's Stevo is on the point, trying to take this up in their favor, down 100 points now. This is match point, mind you. Shenandoah need to win this map to force a game 5. Relic will pick up 1. Spades answers back. Mossman answers back. Relic takes down Tez. Toxic answering, however, on the side of Shenandoah University, taking down Spades on that point. It's Stevo now with the high ground, unable to get the kill. Carbonize there to back up his teammate. Toxic taking out CDL. Mossman, however, is on the point. The point has not switched over to Farmingdale once so far.
Not at all. And what Farmingdale's trying to do is get to this 191 mark, because if you get to 191, you can try and hold for a full 60 hill, and if you do, that's game.
Yeah, right now it was contested there for just a second, but Mossman is able to get the kill there, and it looks like Farmingdale is not going to contest this point again for the duration of this timer, setting up on the new hill here. And really, Shenandoah is going to have to win these firefights, being able to move
massive.
over to Farmingdale's position.
And there was somebody there, bottom 10, getting a pick onto Moss. Carbonized does get that pick. Stevo does clean that up, though. And now they're starting to get control. They're spawning out towards the back. Oh, they got spawns outside. They need to start pressuring this fast. As Space gets one, Stevo does get that trade. Oh, Stevo gets 3! Stevo, you're on another level.
Getting 3 there is huge. Carbonized will take down stock. Toxic and CDL Pubstar will get Stevo as well, but Relic trying to make something happen will only pick up Carbonized. Mossman answering back. In the meantime, Toxic and Mossman finding 3 apiece, combined rather, but Farmingdale still has the point. 10 seconds now. Shenandoah need to have a good hold on this next point if they are looking to force a Game 5.
Exactly, and they're basically going to have majority of this site held, but we're going to be seeing Tez potentially hitting through. We don't know if Relic is seeing this guy pushing up. Oh, we see Tez, though, going to be hitting towards this middle area of the map. Does go down by Toxic. Toxic getting 2.
Yeah, Toxic getting 2 there. Mossman has the trophy in position, kind of just sitting there now on this point. And really, if they can find Carbonize on this flank here, unable to do so, it's Stevo is going to get taken down. However, Relic is going to be able to answer back. Carbonize is dead. Mossman does not see space, but now does he able to flick back, keeping control for Shenandoah. Toxic going off in his own right, but trades coming across the board as Stevo trying to find Carbonize on that back end of that site. And right now, 16 seconds left on this point. Shenandoah need to make a push to try to get something back in their favor. If they are not able to get onto this point, this might be it.
Well, they have rotations for new. They do not win off of this.
Yeah.
And they're already trying to set up Relic, looking to get aggressive here. Stevo does go down, though. That's going to be a massive death for Farmingdale, trying to pick that up. But we see Mossman picking it up, and he's just playing on this time. Oh, unfortunate timing. And that's it. Farmingdale wins the series.
Yep.
3-1.
Yeah, Mossman getting the trophy down, but unable to win the gunfight against Tez there on the point. With that kill there for Tez, with only 2 ticks left to get to 250. There's not much you can do if you lose that gunfight there. Mossman, great effort from the boys here at Shenandoah. And really a very close map number 4.
I mean, honestly, this was a whirlwind of a day to begin with, right? I mean, we started off right with St. Mary's, and we were expecting to see, you know, some high-level competition, and we did. And, you know, Shenandoah came out the gates running, right? Now we get into the second series where Farmingdale did play against a very solid team and had the repetitions, you know, against good competitors. So being able to have that under the reps under their belt coming into the Shenandoah game probably helped out a ton.
Yeah, and that's not to really take away from what Shenandoah did here today as well.
Exactly.
Having 4 maps here against Farmingdale, a very complete and collected team in their own right, and they were really on full display here against Shenandoah University. Tez and Carbonize really coming in to really solidify maps number 3 and 4 for Farmingdale here, but Shenandoah, a great showing by really all of their members today. Exactly.
I mean, look, the boys are still trying to keep the energy up. That screen is bright on his eyes. we can see it. Relic try and get some rest. I mean, there was a lot of games played today. A lot of intense matchups. I mean, again, props to Farmingdale for having that next level competition, and you know, Shenandoah has really met their match, right? They finally are seeing, you know, these teams are no joke. We made it into Division 1. Now we need to start figuring out how we can, you know, adapt and play and overcome these high-level teams. Yeah, and a great day 1, finishing off 1-1 now in the standings here for Shenandoah. A great start, really, coming into this new kind of setting that they are pretty new to. These players have not really played at this high of a level yet, and really a great showing from all members here. I know I just said that, but I'll say it again. A great showing from the members here on Shenandoah. It's Stevo in that invasion specifically was unreal. The search and destroy there on the invasion map, 6-2 win there. And really the scorelines,
it doesn't feel like it was only 4 games.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't reflect the amount of trades, the amount of kills, everything that goes on into these game modes, right?
Yep.
I mean, sure, we can look at this Skid Row, face value, 250 to 135, but, seeing it real time, seeing what was going on throughout the map, like, yes, Farmingdale did really well, but there were just little moments here and there, right? And that's really what it comes down to, is those little moments. And Farmingdale is able to understand that and capitalize off of those little moments.
Yeah.
And I think, moving forward for this CCL team, right, being able to understand that and capitalize off of that is what's going to set them apart from, the rest of their competition. I mean, we saw it here today, but we could see it even more in the upcoming season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this Shenandoah squad does. I know they have a lot of members that they're kind of moving around and kind of figuring out what's right and who's going to play where.
Exactly.
And it's exciting to see this many players playing at a high level here at Shenandoah University and really being able to go toe-to-toe with these higher level D1 schools.
Exactly. I mean, what more can you ask for from a day one?
Yep.
I mean, again, series was wonderful to watch. I was so happy casting it. Ben, I'm so glad you were able to cast it. Avery, if you're watching, thank you for casting. That was so much fun, and we definitely have to run it back, as we're going to be streaming again this week for NACE.
Yes.
NACE is going to be coming up for Call of Duty as well. So we're going to be having a different roster for that one as well. But again, some phenomenal players that are going to be playing in Wednesday's game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they can put together for Wednesday. We might see some familiar faces, most likely will. Maybe some new faces coming in, and really see what this squad can really do moving forward, because this was a very promising start from Shenandoah. And props to Farmingdale as well. Played a very good game. Really, those 2 hardpoint maps really were their bread and butter, really able to find their groove and really stay on top of things. Shenandoah, although, was really able to keep up and really able to match the pace that Farmingdale was really forcing them to play, and really a great look and a promising future here from Shenandoah.
Exactly. And, I mean, what a better way to end it off of that. I mean, again, Ben, thank you so much for casting. It's been an honor casting with you. Again, my name is Vitaly Rivera. This is Ben. Ben, I'm sorry, I don't know your last name.
Last name's Kincaid.
That's a really cool last name. If we can try and get that on the stream next time, that'd be amazing. But we're going to be soon having an interview with Steve-O soon here. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back as we have Steve-O from the Call of Duty roster. Steve-O, how you feeling right now?
Honestly, not bad. I feel like we did a lot better in the S&D. We haven't been doing good in S&D lately, but we really popped off in the S&D. Our respawns, we had some tiny mistakes. The score wasn't indicative of how close it was, at least how I feel. Map 1, if we hold down our P2s a lot better, I feel like it was a way closer game.
Yeah.
Map 3, I mean, the kill count's super close. They only really won the last round clean cut. But we just group up together better, and, you know, we work on our small mistakes. I think we'll be a whole lot better for the rest of the year because that's a really good team. Yeah,
that's what we were saying behind the desk, too. Like, it wasn't reflective of how close the game was actually, right? Yeah. So being able to have that and confidence, especially against a really top-tier team, right? So I guess my other question is, how do you guys feel on those respawns?
I would say our most confident mode is hard point, just because we've repped that out the most.
Yeah.
I think Skid Row is, I mean, sorry I'm leaking it, but Skid Row is probably our favorite map, just because it's one of the more simple maps, plays the most consistent. But I think we're feeling pretty good about our respawns. We just need to fix the little things, like I said. And this is going to be good VOD for that.
Right. And I think, you know, coming out of this, again, this was a pretty long day, right? How are you guys' mental after, you know, 2 series? Right.
Honestly, pretty fresh.
That's
I feel
good.
like not having any problems. More so excited to like get the night rolling so we can go to bed.
Exactly.
But, yeah, it's always nice CCL game day. You know, we're not used to playing 2 games back to back because we usually had to reschedule in the past. But yeah, we're feeling good. Nothing bad.
Nice. And one last question, Steve. I know you also play lacrosse. How's that going?
Well, so far it's going pretty well. The boys look nice out there.
Nice.
For this, it's making my schedule extremely busy because I'm fitting in scrims here and there throughout the week, scheduling CXP. And as a lot of people notice, I'm not playing NACE. I'll be playing Wednesday when I don't have games, but other than that, I won't be really playing NACE because of it. So, but it's going good. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for this COD season too.
I'm glad to hear it. I mean, an all-around student, both academically and competitively. Steve-O, thank you so much for being here.
That's good, guys. Appreciate you, brother.
Of course. And that'll be it for the Shenandoah stream. It's been a pleasure. My name is Vitaly Rivera. Have a great night.
We'll start from Shenandoah, going to hold that first point first, but St. Mary's is quickly going to take it back, and Steve-O's going to pick up 2.
Oh, my gosh. Steve coming in big with the 2-piece. Now we're just trying to play for this control. We're nice and slow. You don't have to overcommit. Mossman just going crazy, getting 1 as Relic also gets another one. Mossman gets a 2nd. Does he get the 3rd? He gets the 3rd! Mossman is popping off no matter where they go. Mossman
is just there, Vitaly.
Mossman